associated with our transponders, and they don't know what they are. I mean, that's just silly talk.
All right, well, accept it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, sir. Too kind. My wife should be listening. On healthcare, it's insurance is a beautiful business when you're collecting premiums, and it's the worst business in the world when you're paying. So, to have the government in there, I agree. It should be out. But when people go to these advantage plans, they're putting their health care into the hands of AI algorithms, and they will be denied. In terms of health care cost, not to rattle on, I'll give up the air here in just a second. You really need to look at what the level of health care you're getting is. If you're in a very rural area, you're kind of hemmed in, but we're starved for we're feasted for great choices around here. So you pick the best health care you can get, and you can negotiate the cost of it. A lot of folks don't realize that. The health care insurance companies, they negotiate a rate that they'll pay. The doctors always ask for more, and if you're paying cash, they'll take the top freight. Let's say they get $600 an hour as a psychiatrist. Health insurance will pay them $150. If you're a cash patient, they'll want the $600, but you have to negotiate with them.
I understand. So notice if you're outside the insurance, Ron, I get the point. I get the point. It's a very valid point. Thanks very much for checking in with me this morning, because your point is right. But the psychiatrist example that Ron just gave there, they'll happily sit down with you. You pay him cash, or maybe he can get $300 from you or $350 from you. He's only going to get $150 from one of these Medicare insurance plans, as an example, like the numbers I rattled off for the procedure I had done. And it just bogs everything down. I mean, I think if the system was privatized, and a guy like Dan, younger guy, his doctor said, hey, you got to get some x-rays, and then that's it. And then his doctor could go, have a deal with, say, 2 or 3 different hospitals to say, what's your best price for an x-ray? And that's it. And it's between the doctor, Dan's insurance company, Dan himself, and that's it. You don't have a government involved. And we also need way more United Healthcares. I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's not enough competition. How many do you really have? United Healthcare, you have Humana, you have Blue Cross. We don't have enough. There's not enough competition amongst these insurers. They're giant companies that can force things to happen, and it becomes what's called an oligopoly. 855-839-1210 is the number here. Talking healthcare and drones. Boy, 2 really lightning rod subjects right now. But now I'll make it even worse on you. I just want to talk about some spending here. And I think this is just the kind of nastiness that seems to be a hallmark of the Biden administration. This is the great Kim Strassel writing in the Wall Street Journal, in which he talks about, with just 40 days until Donald Trump's inauguration, the current administration is racing to cement Biden's legacy and Trump-proof the federal government. She talks about spending. Immediately following Kamala Harris' loss, Biden ordered departments to start shoveling money out the door, the better to deny Republicans the opportunity to claw it back. In a Monday memo, Chief of Staff Jeff Zients bragged that some 98% of money from Biden's spending bills, including the infrastructure bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, had already been allocated, meaning they made sure that it got out the door. The same memo says Biden's planning in January to announce another round of student loan debt forgiveness. The Supreme Court's already ruled it's illegal what he's doing. Does that matter? No. That's not the decision we wanted, so let's just ignore that. We'll just change a semicolon here. We'll add a paragraph of fluff here, and we'll just go ahead and do it anyway. And energy. The administration this week announced a pathetically small lease sale in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in an attempt to sabotage larger Trump exploration plans. As Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy noted, the sale, quote, limits exploration to the largest extent possible and is, quote, designed to fail. So, I mean, is this any way for an outgoing administration to work with an incoming administration? I mean, obviously the answer is no. It's basically a scorched earth policy, similar to what Hitler did in World War II, when as the Germans were retreating, they burned everything they get their hands on. And this is just no way to conduct a government. Perhaps the most egregious one here is the labor unions. Social Security Administration Commissioner Martin O'Malley inked a contract with the American Federation of Government Employees Union, which there should be no such thing. There should be no such thing as an American Federation of Government Employees Union, allowing tens of thousands of employees to continue working from home, even in the Trump administration. Remember, this is a hallmark of what Doge wants to do, Musk and Ramaswamy. Get people back to work. If you don't want to come back to work physically, get out. No, they just inked a contract allowing tens of thousands of them to continue to working from home. The administration is said to be working on other deals to insulate federal union workers from Musk and Ramaswamy's Department of Government Efficiency. Now, isn't that some way to run a government? To basically just plant landmines as you're retreating, as you're heading out the door, you're putting all these landmines down for the new guys to step on to prevent them from doing the job that they want to do. It's just no way to run a railroad. It's just no way to do it, and yet this is what apparently the Biden administration is doing on their way out the door, and I think there's a cautionary tale here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that, especially with the way how prolific Musk is on X, his own social media company, about the glorious days that are ahead. Boy, I don't know. You've set the bar very high. They've set the bar very high for what they think they're going to accomplish as soon as they take over. And I think it's going to be much more of a grind than they're letting on. And, as I said at the end of the first hour, Trump isn't helping when certain appointments that he makes are just not good. They're just not good. And so I just hope that the commitment is there for Musk and Ramaswamy to get in there. And when they say they want this done, it gets done. I just have a feeling it's going to be much, much tougher slog than that. Remember, once you get people, I don't care what party they are, once they get entrenched into Washington, D.C., then the last thing they want is their agency's budget cut. They want a nice fat budget so they could be a big mahaf and get invited to all the cocktail parties and all this stuff. And I don't know if party affiliation matters that much. So I'm just saying this could all go wobbly in a very short period of time here if Musk and Ramaswamy don't get the commitment from Trump that they need in order to pull these things off. This could get ugly quickly, and we can't have that. This has to work. These governments have to work. There's more pardons coming, certainly. There's no word yet. Kim Strassel writes on whether the president will follow Hunter's sweeping pardon with a round of preemptive protections, but I think he's going to do it. And that will, of course, set a terrible precedent now for future administrations to just pardon everybody in the administration so that nobody could ever be held accountable. Not that anybody is anyway. 855-839-1210 is the number. But there's just a lot of landmines in place right now. And but right up until the end, it never stops. She writes, the biggest prize will be federal disaster aid package. See? A federal disaster aid package. What are we doing here? I mean, when a disaster happens like a hurricane, why don't you just say, okay, let's get a bill up. Should we authorize $100 billion to go to help people in North Carolina and Florida? Yes or no? I vote yes, I vote no. Okay, motion carries, off it goes. That's it. That's the bill. Done. No. It's got to be an aid package. They're asking for $100 billion to deal with fallout from Hurricanes Helene and Milton. And a final package won't be that large, although Democrats are insisting on big numbers. If they want Speaker Mike Johnson he wants their assistance passing a stopgap government funding bill. Do you hear all these terms, ladies and gentlemen? What kind of way is this to run a government? The entire 2 hours I've spent with you today is really what's been the most common thread? The sheer incompetence and unaccountability of our governments. Right? And all of these are examples of the same thing, be it no one accountable for the drones. No one knows how the hell healthcare works. No one knows why this money is getting spent or how these bills get authorized. It's all part of the same thing. All we do is grind out our jobs every day and put up the money, and then we lose all control. And, it's really ridiculous. Some members of the Senate want to reauthorize billions for a decade-old workforce development program. Others are pushing to reauthorize the Older Americans Act. Oh, boy.
Hey, Pat, it's funny because as you say this, Trump is speaking from Mar-a-Lago, and he's actually addressing the Medicare situation and health care, if you want to hear that clip.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What those problems are. And another thing that came up, the dinner was fascinating because I had Bobby and I had, again...
Let's talk about a dinner with Robert Kennedy and a couple other heavy hitters in the pharma world.
Head of Pfizer, you know who that is. He's a highly respected man who has run an incredible company, likewise with Lilly, the top two people. And we had the head of the industry also. So all companies were represented. And I said, let's have it out now a little bit. And you know what came out of that meeting is that we're paying far too much because we're paying much more than other countries. And we have laws that make it impossible to reduce. And we have a thing called the middleman. You know the middleman, right? The horrible middleman that makes more money, frankly, than the drug companies. And they don't do anything except they're a middleman. We're going to knock out the middleman. I'm going to be very unpopular after that.
So how much of the drug company greed do you think plays into the whole situation of healthcare?
It's another. I mean, you're right, Dan. I mean, I'd say probably a lot. I mean, that's why I said when I mentioned the term oligopoly, you only have a few players in the health insurance industry, right? Especially for Medicare. You only have a few players in the pharmaceutical industry. Trump mentioned Eli Lilly. You have these huge companies in these huge industries who control a tremendous amount of financial purse strings. And it just lends itself to what Trump was just talking about and we were just talking about. So, yes, to your point, I think I have no trouble with companies making money. That's what the hell they're in business for. They're not in business to lose money. But when government monies are involved, if we could have the proper accountability, and we don't, and that's the problem. We don't. If they would do it right, then we could, I'm sure Trump's right, we could save billions, untold billions, if not trillions of dollars. But boy, oh boy, you get jaded and you get to say to yourself, I'll believe it when I see it. But we'll see. He's got a mandate, and it's something we'll be talking about, I know, on this radio station for the next couple of years. Is he going to pull it off? And what a ride that's going to be. All right, listen, our number here is 855-839-1210. When we get back, we're going to wrap it up here. It's a Dawn Stensland Show on 1210 WPHT.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Win big this holiday season with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning's win-win deal, offering the best HVAC value on new installs to keep your home warm. Save thousands instantly with no equipment markups, extended 10-year warranty, rebates, and tax credits. Plus, CNC makes budgeting for your new system easy with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York-certified comfort experts, and start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com. Offers only for new installations through January 31st.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Abrams, head of research audiology at Jabra Enhance. Did you know there's a connection between untreated hearing loss and chronic conditions like cognitive decline and dementia? The good news is hearing aids can actually reduce these risks and help you stay connected. Today, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite hearing aids, the game-changing Jabra Enhance Select 500. Jabra Enhance offers an affordable solution for most common hearing problems with our best-ever speech-enhancing capabilities for a mighty sound in a micro-sized package. Plus, with Jabra Enhance's premium package, you get 3 years of continuous remote care provided by licensed hearing healthcare professionals. No waiting rooms or long commutes. It's as easy as video chatting with a friend. Because at Jabra Enhance, our job is to help you hear and be heard.
Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
The Crash Proof Retirement Show will air before and after Penn State football this Saturday. Tune in at 11 a.m., then again right after the game to learn how to create your own Crash Proof Retirement game plan.
Designers, excavators, engineers, architects, listen up.
What are you doing? We're working here.
If you want to save time, effort, and money on your next underground utility project, start using Pennsylvania One Call System's Coordinate PA application. Coordinate PA is the next generation of utility coordination that allows you to easily transfer and manage your complex projects from start to finish, all the way from the designer to the excavator. Be prepared for your next underground utility project with Coordinate PA.
Makes sense.
Visit pa1call.org to learn more.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stenslin Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, welcome back here. Pat Callahan filling in for Dawn Stenslin today on the Dawn Stenslin Show. Just some programming announcements here. Many of you, I hope, recognize my Barry White type voice from my Saturday show, 8 to 9, here on 1210 WPHT. I'm still doing that, but then also I'm filling in for Dawn next Monday, 10 to noon, and also the 27th, which is that Friday. I'll be on from 10 to noon, and then on New Year's Eve, I'll be filling in for Riccioli, 3 to 7. So I'd love all of you to join me for those stints here as we wrap up the year. Certainly, that would be a time to take stock and do like a year in review. Boy, there'll be a lot to talk about in that regard. 24 has been a tough, in many ways, it's been a very, very tough year. And it's a year, frankly, that I'm glad to be rid of. And we'll see. We'll see what 25 brings and whether we're going to see the kind of sea change that's been promised, the kind of massive, massive change that I think that people voted for back in November to get this country righted again. We just spent 2 hours talking about just 3 examples of how this country has gone off the rails, and somebody's got to get it back on. And I guess Mr. Trump is the guy to do it. I don't know. Like I said, there's still a lot of baggage with the Donster that you have to take, but he's certainly way better than anybody on the other side of the fence was, and he's got a big job to do. He has a very, very big job to do, and I'll just reiterate again, he's got to stay close to and he's got to support Elon and Vivek. He cannot lose Elon Musk as a close ally. That is something Trump cannot let happen, for Musk to get frustrated. And believe me, that swamp can frustrate anybody, as Trump knows well from his first 4 years in office, that he's got to make sure that he lets Elon win the battles he has to win. That'll be a very, very interesting thing to watch over the next, and it's really over the first couple of years of his administration. He's a lame duck going in. He's got to get this done in the first couple of years. Be fun to watch. All right, Dom Giordano coming up here for the next few hours. Dom, I don't know if I've set this audience. I've hit the audience with some body blows. I hope you're ready to uplift them here. Something uplifting for them to talk about.
Cut me, Rock. Cut me.
Cut me, Rock. Yeah, that'll probably work. Work. So what's on your mind today?
Oh, we're going to talk, Pat. Washington Post finally coming around on the transgender issue says maybe it's not a good idea Washington Post to do all this stuff. And over the weekend, now we're being told what's on what our eyes see over Jersey. Those are airplanes. Not true.
Mm-hmm.
Not true at all.
Get out of here, Adam.
Yeah. I know. And Dom, I want to mention to you because I know Dan is a fixture on your show. He was outstanding for me for the last.
Oh, he sits around. Yeah, he's a fixture. Yes, yeah, he's a good fixture. Yes.
But he did a hell of a job for me for the last 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what happens the next 3 here, Pat. Come on.
Yeah, there might be. I might have used up 2 of them. Dom, I'm sorry about that. All right. But everyone, please stick around for Dom. Thanks very much to Dan Borowski for helping me, for Jim Kelly for helping me. Thanks to all of you for listening. And look forward to having Dawn back tomorrow. I'll see you down the road here on 1210 WPHT. Good afternoon.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. Sticking to the fundamentals and not wavering from the game plan is a great philosophy for football and banking. And for nearly 160 years, our dedicated local PNC teams are in formation to help fans receive sound and reliable personalized financial advice to get them across the goal line. Because, as we see it, a win for them is a win for the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Make your home renovation dreams come true with Emmons Remodeling.
We handle everything from concept to completion, delivering beautiful, functional spaces for you and your family to enjoy.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts ensure your project is completed on time and on budget.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It seems like the American people have a big disconnect. The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster, want to know the truth.
We
They're
shoot
very,
them down.
they're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been?
Do you have any reason to think they're a threat?
Two quick questions. First, on vaccines, do you want RFK Jr. to revoke any vaccines?
No, I want him to come back with a report as to what he thinks.
All right, that's the president.
We're doing two things.
Mar-a-Lago, and again, not sure what Trump knows or what he thinks he knows around this, but here is Adam Kinzinger, this guy, alleged Republican, over the weekend on TV. It's devolved into now. I'm going to play you what he said about the drones over Jersey, principally, but other places. It's devolved into the smarter than the room, the pro-federal government people, now just trying to say they're airplanes. Now shut up about it. They're not. They don't have the characteristics of that at all. Or many of them might be airplanes, but a goodly number of them are not. And yet it still goes on. You heard what Trump said about it. I don't know that Joe Biden knows anything. I don't think they're bothering Biden with this. Could be aliens on the beach in Rehoboth Beach, and Biden would just keep sunning himself. That's ridiculous. All right, here's a little bit of what former alleged Republican Adam Kinzinger said about the drones.
What I'm hearing from FBI is we don't see a threat here. And look, honestly, every video I've seen, and I've spent the last couple of days looking at every one of these videos.
Sure, yeah.
Every video I have seen on Twitter or on the internet are all airplanes. They're literally all airplanes. Some of them will show an airplane that's kind of stable out there and says that's a drone. And actually, it's an airplane flying towards you at 30,000 feet. And I can see the lighting on it. And if there are drones out there, by the way, and if any of these pictures that they have shown are actual drones, these drones then are complying with FAA lighting requirements.
Oh, God.
Green on the right, a red on the left with a strobe. And so it's not Iran. It's not aliens if there are drones. My guess is if there are drones, again, because, again, all I've seen are airplanes, then it is more than likely some company that's out testing drones or something like that and has no requirement to tell the public that they're doing it because they're actually operating these things legally. There have been no accusations of illegal operations. By the way, as a pilot myself, I can fly over a military base whenever I want. Those restrictions don't exist. So I think there's a lot of mass hysteria, and I've heard stories of people pointing lasers at these quote-unquote drones, and then the drones' lights go off. Actually, let's be clear. I've been lased as a pilot before. You're supposed to turn off all your lights once you get lased so that they can't find you because it can actually damage your eyes.
Right.
So, yeah, I think there's a lot of
tell us
hysteria
more.
here.
Tell us, a bunch of hysteria here. All right, now I hate to cite this guy as the source. Now, wouldn't you like to see Kinzinger in the ring? And look, whatever you think of him, in the ring, this guy is magnificent. Here is now Chris Christie's fresh off the Trump meme over the weekend, eating buckets of McDonald's as the drones play on behind him. It was pretty clever.
Get the hell off the beach.
Yeah, here's what Christie said about the drones. I think this on CBS, ABC.
To this week, you're a New Jersey resident. Have you seen any drones?
Yeah. 2 mornings ago over my house at 6:15 in the morning. Saw them myself, so did my wife. And so, yeah, they're there. And I've been traveling around New Jersey as I normally do all week. And I can't tell you the number of people who've come up to me concerned about it. And that's
But is this a mass hysteria of some sort?
Well, here's why, George. Because of answers like the secretary just gave. They're not answering the questions.
Well, he said they're monitoring it. They haven't seen any unusual activity, and they need more authority.
Let me tell you something. I agree that they need more authority, but to say this is not unusual activity, it's just wrong. I lived in New Jersey my whole life. This is the first time that I've noticed drones over my house, and I was in a restaurant in Monmouth County on Friday night. Had people at the bar coming up to me and saying, "Governor Murphy won't tell me anything. The president won't tell me anything. Do you know?" Like, well, I don't know, but I will tell you this. I think this is what happens in our society now, George, because we're used to having things so rapidly. If you don't fill that vacuum, then all the conspiracy theories get filled in.
Okay, all right,
So
we
you've
got it from Christie here. So again, as we end the week, we're now into a stage where there's a lot of demeaning of people. course, on Twitter, wild stuff. You know, it's hard to believe any of it that's on there. These are drones. And dismissing people like Jeff Andrew and the others. Now, we're going to hear from State Senator Bramnick, made a lot of news over the weekend, alleging government involvement in this. There are stories of these might be the U.S. government, and they're sniffing out, if you will, any kind of radioactivity, afraid of dirty bombs and things of that nature. Christie's right in this. The longer you let this go on, fooling around with this, the more you're going to breed that. People are not going to accept that. They're not going to stand here, as we went through last week, or how many weeks now, seeing this play out. And again, I think it was a good move by Jeff Andrew to speak up in the manner that he did. It seemed to break the ice to get things moving. But this shows again how...
Justin, we might have Andrew at 145 today.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we want to see where he is now because Biden is just letting this carousel through the holidays. And a lot more people in the media are becoming accepting of it. Accepting of the idea, oh, well, it's really nothing. Nothing's happened so far. That's beyond ridiculous here. So you heard what President Trump said about it, wouldn't comment on part of it. Okay, I get that. He didn't shoot from the hip on this. He gave a reasonable answer about where we are. A couple of other Trumpian things over the weekend. $15 million and $1 million in attorney's fees over the Stephanopoulos case. So Stephanopoulos gets Nancy Mace on. Nancy Mace is somebody who, whoever touches is around her. You know, there could be trouble there. She's gone back and forth. She's a rape victim. And in talking about this, Stephanopoulos says, well, you have a guy that you're supporting, the candidate. He's a rapist. That this case has proven this. Now, there were all kinds of things in this case, but Trump was not convicted of rape in any way, shape, or form, and Stephanopoulos kept on going down that path, and then he doubled and tripled down on that. Oh, you have this with Mace? Yeah, let's just hear a little bit. Then I want to make the point of how unusual this is. Defamation cases are not won easily. Dan, need I drag this out again? That's where I won the moot court competition on. Sullivan versus the New York Times. As I remember it, this guy was a college professor. They alleged that he was drunk in a public manner. That was the thing that went on. And, well, at least that's the test case that the court used and matched up with this. And it showed you how tough it is to win a defamation case. So here's what Stephanopoulos said with Nancy Mace.
Morning. You've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and two separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
All right. And it went on from there. And he said it.
More if you want it.
No, it's okay. The point is, somebody this famous, in other words, in our country, you know the wisdom of this a little bit, okay? The more famous you get, essentially, the legal system lets them take more shots at you before you're defamed. Like P. Diddy, right? Probably has been defamed at some point here. Just whatever he may have done or not done, people have gone wild over, you know, all kinds of things out there. But given the level of fame, given that, it's very difficult. I mean, it takes malice. In other words, Stephanopoulos had to intend to injure Trump here and not care about the consequences. Here's a little bit more.
You're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting. And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they are
It makes it harder when other women joke about it, and she's joked about it. I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
Yeah, well, Nancy Mace is always going to be tough on that. She's always going to revert to that, you know. And notice she didn't challenge. I'm not sure if she was unaware that that's not what the case said. Even though the judge said, well, they didn't say, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, the judge essentially said, well, they didn't say it, but it's rape as we commonly understand it. That's not a legal decision here of any sort. in any way. $16 million later, and $15 million goes to the presidential library. I am really stunned because, again, to prove this, you have to have malice. And you have to, in other words, the defamation laws are saying, hey, if it's a heavyweight like Trump, as far as all this stuff and power, you're going to have more of a wide latitude. They're famous. They're out there. We're not going to go after you versus somebody who can be ruined by this. So this is a big win. Will this chill the media to stop this type of stuff? We'll see. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. We're going to talk with the great Scott Presler at 2 o'clock today. We're going to talk with Congressman Dan Muser at 1 o'clock. He and his son at the Army-Navy game with President Trump, which was a rousing success with Daniel Penny in the box. And I would say it was pretty lusty cheers for Daniel Penny there with the president at Army-Navy. Pretty good game, too, this time around. Both teams are good again. Very good, in fact. All right, side question. We saw this the other day, and I may have mangled it a bit, but I wrote it down. Over the weekend, I guess it was, Henry, right, that it's National Show Your Pearls Day?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Something along those lines. Oh, boy. After Stephanopoulos, he doesn't want to be committed.
Yeah.
Well, there's something.
Yes, Your Honor. Something other like that.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't know anything. So, I don't know. Roe didn't see the pearls thing as necessarily wealthy like Dan does, but for the bit of this, I was in Chestnut Hill buying something for a certain someone, and I'm not going to say, and I did see a lot of women with pearls, more so than almost any place that I would say I've seen. So we are looking today, coming off of that, a sign that someone has wealth. Now, doesn't mean they're a billionaire or 100 millionaire, but it means they're upper middle class. I think that's where we're going with this, all right? And you can put a dollar sign on that in any way that you want. So
a signifier that they're
a signifier.
Yeah. Of good means, right?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be, don't think the enormous, because those wouldn't be entertaining
Maybe the
enough.
Sausage King of Chicago might have something like that
there
in
you
his
go.
house. You know?
Yeah, the pinky ring. So, Dan, what's yours?
This is something we recently got, and I only realized how bougie it is when I started using it and how much this stuff costs. You know those little tea strainers that they have, the tea infusers that are on like a long... So essentially what I'm saying is anybody that goes out and instead of buying the packets of tea like Dom Giordano does, the great pomegranate Earl Grey.
That's right.
Go into
Bigelow, let's get it right there.
Like actual...
By the way, quick story. Oh, God, I don't want to ruin
No, please, go. Your quick story.
Yeah, we had a sponsor. It was Tetley. And I didn't know. I thought the tea bags were kind of big. They wanted to drink it on the air. They were for pitchers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. By like the second hour, I'm wobbling in the chair. And I mean, these were gigantic. And I thought, oh, Tetley's really giant peach teas.
Yes.
And I just kept guzzling them. Go ahead. Yeah.
So what I'm saying then is the loose leaf tea that you can buy. You go to a specific spice and tea store, pay $25 for a pack that's like the size of your hand, and then you put it in some kind of jar and display it nicely on your kitchen. Yeah, that's.
What the heck is going on there? My God.
You know the loose leaf. It's great stuff though. We got some sleepy time tea, like made special with catnips in the tea and some valerian root. You know, I might have a good Christmas gift for Dom Giordano here.
No, I'm not.
You're not doing the bougie teas? And
no, I'd rather you just give me a pomegranate
strainers?
enough to last me a couple months. I'm a simple man on this stuff. Henry, this is pretty wild stuff here. Tea strainers.
I mean, I'm good with the tea bags. I'll take one out of the the break room if I really need one. I'm good on all that. But anyway, I think a sign of you're well off or have some wealth is if you look in that person's linen closet and all the towels are the same. They're all matched. They're all color coordinated.
Oh,
There's no mismatched towels in there.
It's a great.
There's not
that is a great insight.
It's just one set of towels, one set of very nice, maybe even embroidered towels.
You guys are very specific.
Dom, do you have embroidered towels? You seem like a guy that would have a DG on your towel.
Ro has all the. Well, she puts them out for the holidays. She's got different colors with G on it in the thing right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
To our point.
Yep. There we go. I would say if they travel extensively, and then I was going to say, I still think flying first class, if people do that, a couple times a year, you got to be a means. I've only flown first class twice, And I certainly didn't pay for it.
I was going to say, did you pay or did the station pay?
No, I was seated next to Joey Vento and Daryl Dawkins. That's America. That is America. Oh,
how long was that flight?
It was from Phoenix.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
so you had like 8 hours with those guys? Is that what that was?
Oh, my God. Well, Dawkins went to sleep, and Joey and I were talking cheesesteaks. But, yeah, they got off in the airport, and there were hundreds of people gathered around. I mean, Joey was 5'5", and Dawkins, legit 6'11" at least.
It's 5.5 hours.
You're just in there.
I think Joey Vento had on as much bling as Daryl Dawkins, though.
Wasn't
it was a close
mistaken
call.
for a director as well?
Yes, for Scorsese. And I was mistaken for an actor. They said, "Get here, I have a script." A guy at an airport.
Who were you mistaken for?
Yeah, and they just said, "You must be an actor. Give this to Mr. Scorsese," meaning Joey Vento. We're running through an airport in Atlanta. He was getting an award.
For actor. I want to know what actor you look like, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. The guy never said. I don't know. Well, who do you think I am?
Maybe that's the next side question.
Maybe it's just the Italian look, and he knows Scorsese likes some mafia movies. So it's...
Write that one down for afterward. That is a side question. All right. And we're putting it for you and Dan, too. What actors would they come up with?
So were you sitting in the middle of both of them?
Yes.
Oh, man. That must have been something.
Oh, God.
So who gets the armrest, then?
Well, Daryl Dawkins, of course, you got to.
But between you and Joey Vento.
Oh, Joey Vento, he was paying.
Really?
He was paying
so you had both your elbows on your lap.
Joey Vento, the flight to Atlanta paid for his entourage of, I think it was 7 people, may have been 6 at least, other than himself. First class.
For those just joining us and might not be familiar with Philadelphia, Joey Vento is who now?
Right. He is the guy of Geno's Steaks, the one and only, who said, "Please speak in English when you're ordering." That's all it said. 3x6 sign, international furor, 11-hour court case over at the Friends Central, where the women then said, "That's it, time's up," and they start turning off the lights.
What was the result? Was he allowed to keep the sign up?
Yes, he was allowed to keep it up. He won. Yeah, it was nuts.
You're going to have a hell of a story on that one.
By the way, at that event, the witness on the other side said something about, well, if you're going to have people that are speaking Swahili, you should have someone there that understands the language. That's how nuts it got.
That's pretty tough to employ.
Yeah, exactly. What about Vietnamese? You should have the Vietnamese there.
Well, in South Philly, that's possible.
Possible, yeah. But, I mean, this is, I miss Joey Vento beyond belief. So, yeah. And Daryl Dawkins. God. All right, 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Hit us with that.
Jimmy says on YouTube that listening to Joey Vento for 8 hours is his definition of torture.
No, it was colorful. I mean, he did repeat himself a little bit about illegals and stuff like that. You got to imagine, we knew Joey Vento, and then suddenly there was an infusion of people that were illegal in that area, and that's Joey Vento talking. We couldn't believe it. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board here on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you know your numbers? What numbers? Your heart health numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. They're important, so ask your doctor. Learn your numbers, and if something doesn't seem right with them, see a Deborah specialist at one of our offices throughout South Jersey. After all, when it's your heart, you don't take chances. Find a specialist near you at demanddeborah.org.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Phil Almquist giving the Kale and Company flag to Jeremy. He's the recipient for the week.
You promise you'll fly it on your truck and you'll return it next week.
100%.
Okay. All right.
You have other people in the hopper stocker, so to speak, or how can people request the flag?
Probably won't be till January until you can do it, but we have other people. If you want to fly the flag high on your truck or house or whatever, you have to display it. It can't sit in the back of your truck like it did for Kale. Send me an email, greg.stocker@odyssey.com.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Some things in life are meant for each other, like salt and pepper, bacon and mushrooms, or you and the all-new Wendy's Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, does bacon go with mushrooms? And the answer is, they do now. So if you want crispy, crunchy, cheesy, juicy, shroomy, and garlic spready, then you and the Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger are meant to be. For mushroomy, bacony goodness, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in. So President Trump did have at least one person there today. I think the CEO of SoftBank, $100 billion more invested in the United States over the next 5 years. He said because of Trump. You're not seeing that with Biden. You're not really going to see that with just about any Democrat that we could think of ever, let alone at the current state of the party. President Trump was also asked about RFK Jr., and he said that he's going to be much less radical than you would think. Trump, quote, "I'm a big believer in polio vaccine." Well, I would hope so. You know, I still think, and again, if you differ, you can call me. Don't bother me on social media with triviality like this. That's the person who discovered, created the polio vaccine doesn't get enough credit. Just one of the biggest breakthroughs that still should be celebrated. So I don't see RFK Jr. messing around with polio vaccinations. And that's what Trump was saying today. And, you know, the point he's trying to make with everybody that's a cabinet secretary, there are going to be guardrails here. You know, Trump's sense of where the American people are and what will fly and what will not will be the determinant factor on any of these big things. Okay, 855-839-1210. Something I'm intrigued, and he could be just spinning this out there. You know, he talks expansively. But over the weekend, Trump wants to change daylight savings time. In other words, to go back to, and I didn't go back and look it up how many years we've done this, but certainly when you get to here on the East Coast, 4 o'clock, 4:15, and it's already darkened, it's just tough to take. Will he really try to do this? Is there an appetite? The polling indicates that people, maybe 75 to 80%, are in favor of that. There are just various interests, and they're not necessarily that vast in Congress, that have been able to hang on to daylight savings time. That this is the issue where, Trump this would be historic if you can break something like this down. And I think the science is against the other side, but that doesn't stop them. Here's what he said about RFK Jr. and suggesting at least the polio vaccine.
Thanks, President Trump. What about the polio vaccine?
Well, I'm a big believer in it, and I think everything should be looked at, but I'm a big believer in the polio vaccine, the Salk vaccine.
Do you think schools should mandate vaccines? Do you think schools should mandate vaccines?
I don't like mandates. I'm not a big mandate person. So, I was against mandates. Mostly Democrat governors did the mandates, and they did a very poor thing. It was, in retrospect, they made a big mistake having to do with the education of children. They lost like a year, 2 years of their lives. The mandate was a bad thing. I was against the mandate.
So is that something you'd want to?
Yes, please.
All right. So, look, that's a deflective kind of answer there. I know there's somebody that was allied with RFK Jr. who wants to get rid of the polio vaccine. I haven't seen RFK Jr. say anything like that. Trump's not going to be going down that path. We're not getting rid of the polio vaccine, nor should we. Just because of what we went through with COVID and the inability to be transparent about that, that doesn't mean every vaccine's going to be gone in the Trump administration. And I think that's what he's suggesting or saying here. All right, 855-839-1210. One thing we're alert to, Biden, I guess, thought by all those commutations and pardonings that we would be covering up for his son's pardon, okay? Well, that didn't work. And now you have various groups calling upon him to pardon, well, not to pardon, but to commute the death sentence. And I believe on death row federal prisons, there are 40 people on death row. Now, if he did that, would there be this hue and cry? I don't know that there would be. I mean, with me, there would be. But effectively, the left has done a tremendous job of essentially, virtually shutting down the death penalty in America, even though, based on polling, still huge numbers of people agree with the death penalty. How have they done that? By 1,000 cuts. By people just feeling sorrow or some kind of mathematical, bank shot that the person may not be guilty. They don't want to take a look at the suffering. Just picture, let's bring it home here for a moment. Now, it was a state case. But let's say Mumia Abu-Jamal was on federal death row, and Biden has this power. He can go crazy. Nothing's going to stop him. Say he pardoned Mumia Abu-Jamal. Larry Krasner's just working to get him out of jail, but he pardons him or commutes the sentence or takes away the death penalty, which has already been taken away. You can imagine, because we know that case. What about all these others? 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. Let's go to Mike in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Hello, Mike. Welcome in.
Yeah, hi, Dom. I do always appreciate your knowledge, and I think you may be mistaken on this one. The polio vaccine is being questioned not because of its use, being questioned because of its safety and the actual science behind it. If you read RFK's Children's Health Defense Fund under vaccine safety, he wrote a paper there, and it's very knowledgeable, it's very researched, and it's undisputed. And questioning not necessarily the vaccine itself, but questioning the safety testing that was done, that's what's being questioned.
Well, you can question all that you want, but I think it has been certified. I think it has been looked at. as much as just about anything that's there.
Then you can provide a double-blind randomized controlled trial with a placebo, like every other drug gets, that polio vaccine and other vaccines haven't gotten. You want to send the research to me, I'm happy to understand what you're saying.
And
but
Mike,
you're incorrect.
tell me about the injury level that he's going to find here with the polio vaccine versus what we're going to replace it with at this point, because it's an obvious. It's an obvious thing. We know this. There are going to be a certain number of injuries from any vaccine or any medical procedure. You got to concede that, sure.
Yeah, well, that's where there's informed consent in this country, and that's what I think RFK is pushing toward. And Trump mentioned not having a mandate to letting the public decide based on the safety data that's out there. And right now, most doctors just push people, like they push people to get the COVID vaccine.
Wait a minute. The COVID vaccine versus the polio vaccine, that's not the same thing. We know with young children, the efficacy of that versus the risk with COVID. But with polio, we lived through that.
Well, you could look at a book by Susan Humphreys, which talks about, it's called Dissolving Illusions, that talks about the history of Edward Jenner and the polio vaccine. There's also a book out by a fellow named Hooper called The River that talks about the efficacy and the use of the polio vaccine. The problem is, Dom, is the safety testing is not there. And just to say that it's been in widespread use doesn't make it safe. There's plenty of history examples that, they've used widespread use of different chemicals. And then they find that those chemicals, the EPA just got rid of PERC. Because why? They found out that over time the use of that chemical stopped.
I hear you, and I'll stick by what I've said. In the end, the polio vaccine, this is a trail. You want to go down it. You want to go after this. Trump didn't say the polio vaccine when talking about mandates. He was talking about his view on the polio vaccine, and he put the guardrails on there with RFK Jr. At least that's the suggestion that I get. 855-839-1210. So it's one thing, and then we got an update on our caller of the year. It's one thing to say that we ought to always have fresh eyes to this stuff. Okay. It's one thing to say maybe in a place like Jersey, there are too many required vaccinations. I forget what the total is. It's one thing to look at all that. It's another thing, though. You start going after the polio vaccine here, and now we're into an area that is going to be very interesting and has to be carefully done. And when I see what not Kennedy himself, but this other guy that's been allied here over the years at various points has said about it, and it's troubling. And I think that Trump is sensitive to that, and he's right to be sensitive to it. All right, 855-839-1210. So, Dan, where do we stand with the caller of the year?
Yes, Dom, it is hot as anything right now. We got our final matchup currently going in our final 8. It is not that close, even though I wish it were. We have Leslie and Bryn Mawr taking on Joe of Columbus. And, Dom, over the weekend, Joe of Columbus took it upon himself to launch a campaign. He asked Cat Turd on a Twitter.
One of his friends did, I think.
Oh, was it one of his friends?
Okay. Yeah.
But I do think in his personal life, he's been going around, he's so proud of this, and telling people, because we just got someone named Corey who said, I'm new to X, just signed up today so I could place my vote for Joe of Columbus. Hey, Joe, this is Corey B., brother of Carrie B. Good luck. So somehow Joe got to Carrie, who got to Corey, to get him to sign up for Twitter to vote for this. So Joe does have a sizable lead, 73.8% to Leslie's 26.2%. Dom, 25 minutes left to vote for that final matchup in that 8-people round, and this will be your final 4 matchup. Whoever wins this one, Dom, next faces Joe of Exton.
All right, so it's
matchup.
Joe of Exton, potentially Joe of Columbus, the two Joes. On the other side, it's Scott of Mount Laurel and Robert of Ben Salem. Boy, the cream rising to the top here.
That they are. Joe of Columbus, so a surprise. Someone that you insisted be in this year's contest. And Henry and I, we were like, yes, good caller, but, maybe not, kind of on the bubble there. But, Dom, have you been proven right by these listeners? It seems he is.
Well,
A pretty hefty matchup here.
I would say don't look at the finished product. Don't look at when you're making sausage. What's going on Twitter there? I'm not exactly sure that I'm all on board.
We did a better job picking this field than the college football playoff committee did picking theirs.
Yeah, fair
Say
enough.
that.
Oh, is that a comment about Indiana? Or?
Yeah.
No, Indiana should be in.
Okay, here's what we do. 855-839-1210. That's how you can get on board right now and hit us with something that's a signifier that the person is apparently wealthy. Don't say a yacht, for example. We get it. Yeah, you have a yacht. We get it. Okay. I would even say, Dan, a really nice shore home in addition to their other home.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
I said really nice. I didn't say just they have
well,
a
no,
bungalow
shore.
there.
I mean, Mr. Tom Don't at the shore over here,
Yeah.
throwing stones in a glass house.
Yeah, no, we don't have any shore.
Benjamin says, when I was a kid, my parents told me Power Wheels were for rich kids, and I always had that same notion as well.
Power Wheels?
Yeah, like the little Jeeps that are plastic that are charged in the garage, and the little 5-year-old, 6-year-old sits in it. It looks like he's driving a Jeep down the road.
Oh, yes. Oh, those type. Oh, yeah.
You had one of those?
I did.
Oh, you're a rich kid then.
I wouldn't say so.
All right. I bet Henry had a pony.
I bet he did too, Dom.
I wouldn't go that far. Not much of a horseback rider.
If you have a pony.
Oh, but if you were, you would have had it.
If you have a pony,
I
you're a rich
despise
kid.
horseback riding.
You're 100% right there, Dom.
Unless you're on a farm or something.
Well, Maisie had a pony, and she wasn't a rich kid at all.
All right, they were on a farm.
They were on a farm.
Yeah, remember they killed the pig and all and told her that, too. That wasn't so good.
Yeah, I don't think that's very,
Yeah, it's not rich. All right.
I guess it is rich as a story, but.
Yeah. Hey, tackle the NFL action on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom. Now you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com/Dom. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania, first online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required, bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Wherever I go, online security is a top priority for me. In my personal life, on the job, with the family. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. I do feel so secure and worry-free thanks to Privacy Pro's 3-in-1 subscription service. DuckDuckGo VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. So it helps protect your personal info from being exploited by those hackers, scammers, or privacy-invasive companies. I discovered DuckDuckGo years ago. It's an independent browser search engine, and millions use it. DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro provides me with a VPN, secure encrypted Wi-Fi connection, which I trust. I love that the DuckDuckGo VPN works on browsers and apps across mobile and desktop, up to 5 devices at once. Get a 30-day free trial at duckduckgo.com/1210. Then you pay $9.99 a month. Do this, duckduckgo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Steel holiday savings are here. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at SteelUSA.com. Weather sponsored by Winter Ford.
The dreary conditions continue in the forecast through the rest of today. It'll be cloudy, some drizzle is possible, milder with a high up around 50 degrees. For tonight, clouds continue. Another round of rain arrives late, low 45, and turning out to be a nice day on Tuesday, becoming partly sunny and mild with a high near 60.
The Winter Ford Cherry Hill Get Holiday Ready sales event. See Dino Rucci and his team for discounts and rebates up to $10,000 on new Fords. Call 800-428-4000 for details. Check your savings at winterford.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Okay, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. Side question, a signifier, the person is probably upper middle class, not the super, super rich, but they have means. That's what we're looking for off this Pearls thing. By the way, Josh Shapiro said on Friday evening, he directed the Pennsylvania State Police to look further into the sightings, and police will be flying helicopters to try to determine where those drones are originating from and what the purpose of those drones are. I mentioned that to you. I mean, that's better than what I see Murphy doing here. I told you these Blackhawks have long-range fuel tanks. They could hover. They could be in these spaces. And, they seem to be gone once we get to daylight. There's got to be a methodology to at least track, other than the Atlantic Ocean, where they're going. But the Biden administration just is incurious about them, just lazy about them, and or conspiratorial to not want to reveal where they're going and what they're up to. It is maddening, and it is a great meme for what the Biden administration has been. All right, 855-839-1210, you get a line. The RFK comments with President Trump today, I think are guardrails. I think they're trying to reassure as he goes through confirmation. Now, you heard the first caller. There are people that, if you're getting wound up over the polio vaccine, I mean, is that where our intentionality is? Or is that a tell that goes too far? I mean, how much effort, how much should we be calling into question the polio vaccine? I'm unaware of anything that would have us do that. If we're talking about COVID, we know the difference with that. We know what happened here. If you're talking about too many vaccines in a place like Jersey, particularly over a short course of time, okay, that's something to be studied. That's something to tear apart, to take a look at, to see if there are any nuggets there. But the polio vaccine, is that where you want to go? And I think Trump is saying no, based upon what I saw him say at this news conference. All right, let's go to the callers. Let's go to Peg in South Jersey. Peg, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Peg.
Hey, Dom, how are you?
Good, Peg.
I say Anani.
All right, why do you think that's a sign of wealth?
because most middle-class people can't afford nannies, so...
Well, you're meaning a full-time person that's in there most of the time, most days of the week.
I think most doctors probably have nannies, and people that make a whole lot more money than me.
All right, a nanny, it's a good one. I was just trying to clarify, when does it become a nanny? When is it a babysitter of sorts? Because both people are working, And I don't know that doctors are doing as extremely well under Obamacare. I mean, is the average doctor making $150 a year? If that's the sole income earner, or pretty much, that's not wealthy. What do you need to be wealthy in Philadelphia to be what we're talking about? I'd say if you're in Philadelphia, you have to have family income of $200,000 plus to be moving toward this, maybe even a little bit more. If you're in New York, I think you need at least $300,000, and even that's on the low end.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you need more than that.
Yeah, probably. You probably need saying you need $500,000 a year to be. Wow.
But it's the truth.
I guess it is, to move out of the middle class, $500,000 a year in New York. If that's not enough in New York, oh my God, that's just hard to believe. Okay. Hit us with those, 855-839-1210. You get on board. And coming up, what percentage of students in the Philadelphia public schools, all this with Trump as the backdrop, are English learners, meaning English is not their native language? I just saw it. The Inquirer puts it up because they want more protection, they say, school sanctuaries. This is a stunning figure. Wow. They've gotten enrollments. The Inquirer says the Philadelphia public schools have gotten their first enrollment gain in a decade. Yeah, people are coming here illegally. That's essentially what it is. What percentage, Henry, off the top of your head, what percentage is English not their first language?
I'm going to say 10%.
Okay, I'll give you the number coming up. It's 10%. Even that would be a lot.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, historically, it'd be a whole lot. Hey, let me tell you about Dr. Bentz first. My dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton, friend dentist for 10 years or so. And Dr. Bentz is very skilled, and his staff. I've told you about this, even with people that are anxious about the dentist. But the thing that really differentiates is having great technology, not just in the making of your teeth, and great people that can work with it. And this is where the diagnostic part comes in with Dr. Bentz. And he, as I told you, recently found something pretty severe that other dentists, other people had missed. His technology is cutting edge, from the simplest things all the way to the most involved. So much so, he's known where he is out there in East Norriton. Other dentists routinely send him the more complex cases. I know I have never experienced this kind of diagnostic care that you get with Dr. Bentz to go over with you, show you exactly where you are, particularly with that initial visit, and work up a plan with you. And to be rock solid, consistent, certain, rather than, well, it could be this, it could be that. I could tell you, Henry, open your mouth. It could be this, it could be that. No, not with Dr. Bentz. You get it the first time and they get it right. So why not get that type of treatment? Now, if you're saying, oh, the holidays, make the appointment today. Make the appointment today, and put it into January if you want. Dr. Bentz and his team at the Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call them right now, 610-272-6949, or visit Bentz, B-E-N-T-Z, BentzDentalGroup.com. 610-272-6949.
Kale & Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Luigi's not getting any Swedish fish in the joint. Luigi has for breakfast a choice of fruits, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee.
We have to remember, as these dummies on News Nation are like, hi, everybody, there's a person dead. It's, again, this idol worship. Do you guys see him? Is he watching? Like, they're giddy schoolgirls. Ugh.
Goes back to the big take this morning, the violence of the left, the irrelevance of the media.
Start your day with Kale & Company. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Enhance your home's curb appeal with new doors and windows from Emmons Roofing and Siding. Our high-quality products offer style, security, and energy efficiency.
And you can choose from a wide selection of styles and finishes from major brands like Anderson or Provia.
Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us online at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
To inside and out.
at Emmons, we have you covered.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The secret to savings is out. One place, two words.
More money!
Starting at just $3.99, you can find something for everyone in your family and on your list. Make it easy for yourself. Grab gifts that are already in a box. If you're looking for serious savings and style, grab Adidas, Champion, Puma, Reebok, Converse. The list goes on and on. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10.
More money!
You can put a bow on these brands and won't break the bank.
Hi, this is Joe Meterchick, PNC Bank Regional President. As a bank, we pride ourselves on being boring. But the truth is, we couldn't be more excited to serve the dynamic greater Philadelphia community. For nearly 160 years, we've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for our equally brilliant clients. We have dedicated PNC teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. Henry's guests, non-English speaking students, not their first language in the Philadelphia Public Schools now. He said 10%. That's hefty. Wow. 23%. Woo. How long are these people in Philadelphia going to put up with this stuff? Now, this is akin, not quite the same thing, as black residents in Chicago riled up because they see all the things in their neighborhoods illegals are getting. A lot have been put there. We told you in Northeast Philadelphia, any number of these schools are unbelievably overcrowded. And I would tell you this, long years of education, how can you have a quarter of students, close to a quarter of students, not speaking English in schools and trying to accommodate that? That's impossible. The Inquirer also notes it's the first time in a decade or decades that they've seen an uptick in enrollment. Yeah, people are coming here illegally, particularly in Northeast Philadelphia. They're overcrowding the schools. You have the language issue. And then we're going to do what? I mean, we can't even get air conditioners in there, no matter how many passes Jalen Hurts throws or puts air conditioners in there. It doesn't work. Remember, they said maybe by 2027, we'll have the schools cooled off. How can you run an operation like this? And they want the superintendent to announce and put into play DEPCON 1 on Inauguration Day, meaning the sanctuary schools policy, where they're not going to comply with any federal agents in any way, shape, or you tell that with Tom Homan, Mr. Superintendent. Let's see what happens here. You know, like if the parents are picking up, you can't do anything there on school grounds. They're here illegally. Really? You don't see the mayor going down that place. You don't see her going there. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Congressman Dan Muser. He was at the Army and Navy game with President Trump, had his son there with him, Daniel Penny. And also, he's gone after the University of Pennsylvania because of the argument of what kind of education did the health director alleged shooter, get there, and particularly one professor who lionized him on TikTok, etc., and has sort of apologized, but not much. He's next. And then Robert of Ben Salem wants to talk trash against Scott of Mount Laurel. Good, finally. I'm sure Scott of Mount Laurel will put that into. Finally, we're getting some guys that really want to be the caller of the year, not people that are just, I don't care if I'm elected.
Now that we're in the championship rounds here.
Exactly. Yeah, they're right. They see the prize there. As I said the other day, suppose we had like a championship belt with diamonds in it or something. Fake, of course. Dan,
zirconium.
Get on that belt. We must have a belt.
Are you suggesting that I go find a belt somewhere?
Yeah, you probably have a belt at home. I think DJ could provide a belt. I know he has several of them still. All right, 855-839-1210.
Dawn Stensland here. You may have heard I've fallen in love again with Italia. Now I know why Italy is the most revisited country in the world. Join me next spring on the Italian Riviera. Lorenzo and Romina, yes, will be back with us once again. Conservative Tours has crafted an itinerary that is sure to enchant us. Tuscany, the Riviera, the Northern Italian Lakes region, Cinque Terre, and dining events you'll write home about. 5378, yes, that includes your airfare. He's Michelangelo's Florence and the fashion capital of Milan. Call toll-free 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, and a tour leader who is absolutely the best. That is Conservative Tours in Italy. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena, home to Il Palio, the medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Modena, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Portofino.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
There's a chill in the air. You flip on the heat and nothing. Don't raise the white flag. Call the White Dove. For as little as $13 a month, Oliver will keep your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems in check year-round. Plus, your membership comes with annual inspections, exclusive discounts, and priority emergency service. Oliver is proud to be recognized as a winner of the Brotherly Shove Business Spotlight. From all of us at Oliver, thank you. Promotional support by First Trust Bank.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Yes, Army, Navy, and this year it was actually good. Particularly, I liked the little bit I saw of it, the Navy quarterback. But Navy's good, and Army was somebody who just wore teams down. I mean, their collective records are probably the best I've seen in the last, I have to look it up, 20, 30 years.
Well, last year they had that goal line stand at the end of the game.
That was incredible.
And then the year before there was overtime.
First ever overtime game, and I was there.
It's a string of some great games.
Yeah, but every game.
It's more to see, though, that these teams are actually good. Why is it that they're good again? What is happening here?
I think they both kind of revamped their offenses. Obviously, they're both still run heavy, but the schemes they kind of use have.
Yeah, but don't you think they're getting better players?
No, if anything, they're losing players. Like Army's best player, the running back, just hit the transfer portal.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you could transfer out of Army. I thought that was a no-no. You sign up.
You can't transfer in, but you can transfer out. I don't know how that works.
No, I thought you had to commit to being an officer for X number of years. But Representative Dan Muser was there. And he was with President Trump, brought his son to the game, and Daniel Penny was in the box. I also wanted to talk with him about the University of Pennsylvania. Let's go to the congressman here. Congressman, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dom, great to be with you.
So Daniel Penny in the box, and it seemed like the crowd, when announced, all of you guys there, seemed to be very appreciative of Penny.
They should be. They were primarily, I think the crowd was primarily appreciative of Donald Trump being there.
Right.
And boy, oh boy, the USA chants and everything else. But and that was great. And of course, President Trump couldn't have been more hospitable. It was great being with him and having some time to talk. And he makes sure he talks to pretty much everybody in the room. And there was quite a crew in there, particularly his whole team. I mean, his cabinet team. I'll tell you, they're not a team of rivals. They're a real team. Heard you guys talking about Army and Navy, and my son plays for Bucknell, and they played Navy earlier in the year, and Navy just looked like a good team. You know, no real standouts, but just a darn good team, and I think that's what President Trump has pulled together. But I will tell you that Danny Penny, what an impressive. Such an impressive young man. He and my son actually were talking quite a bit. They're close to the same age and in a room full of older people. But he just was demure. He was polite. He was so humble, and just this attitude of servant leadership. You know, I mean, he was a Marine. Didn't make a big deal. Certainly wasn't bragging about anything in any way, shape, or form. More just humble to the recognition that he was receiving. He just felt he instinctively was about protecting. And that's what he did. And it's a shame. There's a lot out there on, he was trying to be a tough guy, or he did the wrong thing. Oh, he just responded to an issue to protect, and he had no idea the severity afterwards that we all learned. If anybody paid attention to what his conversations were with the police afterwards, he was just trying to hold the guy down. And
Video, and look, we're not celebrating him like the left is celebrating the shooter of the alleged shooter of the health guy. They were celebrating that he would act. And more importantly, they're celebrating he came through this crucible of this DA in New York who should have never charged him.
Right. Right. So well, right on the money there. Yeah, there's no celebration here as to what the outcome was. It was an unfortunate necessity that he had the courage to stand up to. And everybody you saw, all walks of life on that subway agreed. They said we were all afraid. The guy was acting like a lunatic, and he subdued him.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you, Pennsylvania response. President Trump talked today, Congressman, about the drones again, and he was circumspect in that some of it he may have been briefed on, and it's good that he didn't say anything out of line. But Josh Shapiro has talked about sending the helicopters up. That's better than Murphy. I'm not sure if they've gone up. Do you have any sense of what Pennsylvania's response might be?
Well, I've been in touch with the National Guard asking what their response is, and they're too waiting, I think, for instructions. We got the best National Guard in the country. So there's a tremendous amount of slowness, of course, coming out of the Biden administration, and that's what they're known for, late and slow. And as unresponsive as which is quite unacceptable. But nevertheless, look, this thing is a debacle. Once again, it's very much like the balloon, the Chinese balloon that passed over. They're not doing much to find out. It does show, and this is from some top people that are going into the military, that some of our surveillance and our ability with drones needs to be improved. But nevertheless, the level of transparency is awful. Admiral Kirby said something that many of them are manned. Well, how many are manned and how many aren't? And they're simply not engaged. I mean, it's really a PR nightmare going on, which we're not so worried about the PRness here. We're worried about the right information,
sure,
and the truth.
Exactly.
It's really outrageous. You got 30 drones behind a Coast Guard vessel, and we have no answers on it, and this has been going on for weeks.
It is stunning. In a world, this is more stunning to me than allowing the Chinese thing to come across the country. One other area, I'm glad of note that you are pressing the University of Pennsylvania on this Marxist, self-described Marxist professor who went out of her way to tout the alleged shooter in the killing of the healthcare executive. And even the University of Pennsylvania pushed back publicly, we heard, for them, against her, that she deflected apology maybe a little bit. What can you tell us you're trying to do there?
Yeah. Well, it was a deflected apology. She said she's never been more proud to be a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and that he is this guy killer is the alleged killer is the icon we all need and deserve. She's got problems. I mean, think about it. She's got real issues, this woman. She's been at University of Pennsylvania now for over 5 years, which is a little disturbing. Look, I had a daughter that graduated Penn. My brother went there in the 80s. His daughter got into Penn and graduated Penn. I think Penn is one of the finest schools in all the world. But let's face it, the last several years, perhaps even longer, they've been pretty clueless. They've shown themselves to have an inability to be in touch with the rest of the world. I mean, it appears that there's a strong bias that exists there. The idea that they would have a professor, imagine sending your child $75,000 a year, or if you did get a discount, saving up and creating a fund, a college fund, and then this is their teacher. I mean, is there any doubt as to why kids are coming out with an unbelievably liberal, socialist bias? I mean, they're not teaching the truth. They're not just teaching one side of it. They're selling it. They're stating it.
That's a great point. I'd underline that. And it shows you how far it goes, though. Usually they cloak themselves in allegedly nonviolence.
Yeah,
In this,
right.
other than the word but, they are cloaking himself in violence.
Exactly. I mean, clearly. I mean, she's smiling, parading, singing, whistling, doing a little hand dance. She needs. Look, if they don't fire her, which of course they should, if for some reason they offer excuses where they cannot, this woman needs mandatory therapy and certainly some sort of, not necessarily anger management, but hate management. And I will tell you this: University of Pennsylvania has been in touch with me. They're working on a satisfactory response here, and I think that they will provide it, and we will continue to support the University of Pennsylvania. But we're going to be keeping an eye on issues like this. I mean, look at all those anti-Semitic protests that took place on their past president, and the past president comes in and is completely in left field about answering questions about hate speech on Jewish students. I mean,
well, I know you're busy on this one, but for listeners and you, I'll put on your radar screen, Villanova here locally has their head of their counseling services at a big conference of various psychologists. This happened in November. It's starting to come out in the Inquirer today, Congressman. Say at her presentation, present slides that Zionism, being a Zionist, which I am, is fascism.
Well, I'm a Zionist too, and I'm sure no fascist, and neither are you, Dom. We're not even close. In fact, we are the antithesis of fascism. We believe in our constitutional republic. We believe in the individual rights that it describes, and it informs the government how it is to assure our rights, not provide our government rights. That's the exact opposite of fascism, and that just goes to show once again how upside down and backwards these schools are thinking.
Yep, absolutely right. Well, please keep us in the loop with Penn. I like your balanced approach with them to get them to actually do something this time around. So, Congressman, have a great Christmas if we don't speak before then. And thank you. Thanks for coming on again.
Tom, really appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you and all your listeners, and talk again soon. Take care.
All right, there's Representative Dan Muser, Villanova, local therapy conference. And this professor there at Villanova, which has had all kinds of problems over the years, she is the Natalie, Nathalie Edmond, psychologist who directs Villanova's University's Counseling Center, said that one spectrum of acceptable discourse with cultural freedoms on one end and Zionism and fascism on the other. A second slide depicted the colonized mind, labeled with various ideologies, including homophobia and Zionism. Villanova. All right, so every one of these schools at some point or another here, it's the same thing again. Zionism is not fascism. All right, we go through the same slur on Israel. I don't know if Steve Feldman is on this one. I'm sure he'll let us know. All right, let me go to Robert in Bensalem, though, for the big matchup. Dan, when do the gloves come off and this kicks off?
You know what? This one is supposed to be right. Well, do you want to do this? We didn't have this discussion yet. Do you want to do Robert and Scott and Mount Laurel, or do you want to do the Joes facing off today?
I think Robert and Scott.
All right.
Till tomorrow.
Launching now at Dom Show 1210. Go make your vote, because the guy you're about to hear, Robert Bensalem, and his Sam Elliott-like voice are taking on now Scott and Mount Laurel and the entire basketball team of some random place in New Jersey.
Yeah, he's got those kids. All right, there'll be no drills today. No foul shooting today. Get on Twitter here. Let's go to Robert.
All your kids voting there, Scott.
Let's go to Robert in Bensalem. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. I just wanted to point out real quick, the FAA requires any drone over 0.55 pounds to be registered. They should know who these people are. This is absolutely ridiculous.
It is, and it continued. Now we're in the stage where we're being lectured to. They're just planes. Now shut up. Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to call in early because I wanted Scott to have a chance to respond, okay? But here is my pitch. I think Scott's a great caller. His calls are always on point, and he's a smart caller, and he's got a good sense of humor. And I personally think that when he broadcast with the Phillies last year, that was a Hall of Fame moment, no doubt. But this is 2024, and I honestly don't believe that his body of work for 2024 merits being Caller of the Year. In short, I don't think that we should reward Scott for resting on his Mount Laurel.
Oh, yes.
his Mount Laurel.
But here. I think we're in the House of Commons. Here. Yes.
And I hope he doesn't kill me too bad for that.
What's
my answer to the side question is any guy who has a wife and a maid and they're not the same person.
Oh, beautifully put.
You guys have a great day, okay? Don't get
I guess you're not going for that female vote today. All right.
I'm not commenting on that. All right. A wife and a maid are not the same person. All right. 855-839-1210. A sign of someone who is wealthy. Not yachts, not that type of thing. We're looking for something more subtle. A signifier. And you can vote right now at Dom Show 1210. Scott on Mount Laurel. That was an unbelievable aardvark one year. He sat into it. The other gazelle, I think, last year with John Kruk, of all people. You ran like a gazelle to third base. Oh, my God. With his Phillies broadcast. And, of course, Robert of Ben Salem has got it all, in my view. The champion of the dollar. He works that in all the time. And also the side question, guru. All right, that's one match. We'll have the two Joes starting tomorrow probably. So get him right now at Dom Show 1210. You can vote right now which one advances to the final. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. And look, Villanova, St. Joe's, LaSalle, it's not just the non-Catholic or non-private schools that are outrageous. This is Villanova. She's the head of the counseling there. Zionism, being a believer in Israel, is fascism. How do you just... And Villanova's saying, well, she did that in her own... Well, wait a minute. She's the head of the counseling center? How do Jewish students at Villanova feel about that? You're a fascist. Don't come back here for counseling. Maybe she needs counseling. 855-839-1210.
The story about artificial Christmas trees being more eco-friendly. I'm a big believer in getting them real. I don't know how you gentlemen feel about this, but I am a big believer in getting real Christmas trees because they help the family farms. Kirk has a real tree. Good for you, Kirk. I'm glad to hear that. You support the family farmers, Kirk?
No.
You know, you said you have a real tree. That means you do support the family farmers.
Yeah, sorry.
Kirk's like, I have a real tree. I'm helping out. You support the farmers? No, F those guys.
Yes, I do.
Rick Zioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process process ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Okay, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. We'll hear from Scott Presler at 2 o'clock. And Dan, is Jeff Andrew solid or we're waiting?
I haven't got full confirmation
yet,
but
hopefully.
When it usually happens, it is good to go. So
145, we're hoping.
Say about 95%.
All righty. You get in right now, though, and hit us on either thing. The Washington Post editorial over the weekend sounding the alarm about lack of strong evidence for providing children with gender transition treatments like puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries, saying there's reason to worry about their use. This coming off Tennessee, where they have banned such things. And they say that the failure to adequately assess these treatments, because they know about a couple of big studies that have been pulled because the people doing the studies don't like the results. Like a 5-year study, and we've spent a lot of money, federal taxpayer money on it. They don't like the results, though, when they come out and say, well, we need more time, we need more testing. Intuitively, people know. Tennessee is a place where they have banned this. And the argument on the other side, well, what about parental rights here? Shouldn't parents have the right? Parents who are hectored by various doctors and others, the kid says it, you got to do all these things that are irreversible. The point is, we are winning on this. We're winning that we're seeing more and more. Now, you can say, well, why didn't the Washington Post just say the evidence indicates this is bad? They can't do that given their constituency. You saw that Kamala Harris wouldn't even do that. But for them to question this in this context, it is amazing. It is truly amazing how this would work. All right, I'm getting a lot of social media blowback, too, of all sorts, because Trump wants to change the current system, daylight savings time. I think he's going to make an all-out effort. He made a good point on, I guess, Truth Social. It has a small but very determined groups that prop this up. And that's my sense, that the average American says, no, but the people that are hitting me, you're going to have kids killed on their way to school in the morning. I remember that, a couple of years where it was different, and it was very dark, even at, 7 o'clock in the morning. You're going to get that. I just think it has widespread popularity. I think Trump's on to something. Again, though, this is going to take effort, drilling down and showing the people that are wedded to this for any number of reasons, and yet their numbers are not overwhelming, and yet they've won so far on this. I mean, that came out over the weekend. These are the things that he's talking about. And today, the economic message, they had the SoftBank CEO in Florida with President Trump, $100 billion more over the next 5 years. He's going to be investing in America because of Trump. So the wave is here. Now it's just hitting the right things of change. And as I said at the top, we played you the cut. Dan, we have that cut again, the polio one. Here's what Trump said about the polio vaccine and RFK Jr. today.
We spent more time talking about that than anything else.
Can I ask a follow-up? Thanks, President Trump. What about the polio vaccine?
Well, I'm a big believer in it, and I think everything should be looked at, but I'm a big believer in the polio vaccine, the Salk vaccine.
Do you think schools should mandate vaccines? Do you think schools should mandate vaccines?
I don't like mandates. I'm not a big mandate person. So, I was against mandates. Mostly Democrat governors did the mandates, and they did a very poor thing. It was, in retrospect, they made a big mistake having to do with the education of children. They lost like a year or 2 years of their lives. The mandate was a bad thing. I was against the mandate.
So is that something you'd want to?
All right. And previous question to that with RFK Jr., he said he's going to be very reasonable on this, and then Trump pivoted in a previous question into the polio vaccine situation. I don't think Americans, I had one caller already, are out there saying we want an all-out look, potential pushback on the polio vaccine. I mean, the lesson from COVID and the vaccines that we have now with kids is this has been a debacle on several fronts. Given, we've talked with Dr. Marty McCary on this several times, the efficacy of doing that versus the risk is just not there, particularly myocarditis and all. We've been through that. But I don't think you're going to find people saying that on polio as a consensus. I think you're going to see the consensus going more the other way. My point is this. Just because RFK Jr. says it, I'm not going to say, that's it. And starting off on the polio vaccine, I think Trump is looking at this and thinking there are better areas to start here. Look, the area that he ought to emphasize, RFK Jr., the area where he'll have wide support and do a lot of good is the food issue, the ultra-processing, et cetera. There'll be a lot of blowback. There'll be a lot of fights. But I think he's on the side of the angels with this. You start going down Broadway with any of your people, or you starting to chip away at the polio vaccine, and there's going to be trouble here. There's going to be difficulty. And that's what Trump is sensing. Start with food. There's going to be a battle enough over that because of the vested interests that are in this. And here, for example, Dan, I think this is the last cut today. Here is a self-described liberal. This is cut 11. Lifelong Democrat, health freedom advocate mom, voted for Trump. Why? Because of Trump's embrace of RFK Jr.
What was your reaction when you saw that President Trump had named him to this incoming position?
I cried. Many other people cried. We were so excited.
It's happening.
I was, had been a lifelong Democrat.
In this election, did you end up voting Republican?
Yes. I think a lot of our moms didn't necessarily just run to the right. They felt abandoned by the left. And when the right said, hey, we're here for you on health freedom, they said that's something that I can align with.
All right. So I maintain when we talked about this, about RFK Jr. and what I think happened here in the election, sure, Elon Musk, I get it. RFK Jr., though, was a telling point for Trump when that endorsement happened with a lot of groups, young men, women like this. It really had an edge attached to it. So his first step, and I think you're going to see that, food supply. That's a good one. It's going to be a battle, but I think the buy-in is 80% of people, if not more. The other, polio vaccines, no. There's not going to be buy-in on that. You're not going to see people. That's going to be an easier thing to tar them with, to bog down. All right, Dan, we have an update here.
Yeah, Scott from Mount Laurel needs the listeners' help, Dom, because on our 2024 Caller of the Year contest, it is a runaway Robert Ben Salem so far 100% of the vote at Dom Show 1210 to get your vote in.
All right, you got to get there at Dom Show 1210. We hope Scott is not out recruiting.
Do you want to give any love to Scott? You want to give any reasoning as to why he deserves a vote?
Yes. Just like Robert, in almost, they come from different backgrounds. I know them both. We met both. Scott maybe more even than Robert. Just brilliant insight in their calls. Great sense of humor. Robert's better on the side question, but Scott is right there with them on just about everything else. I mean, they're a cut above almost any caller that I've had over X number of years.
And from my account, I just want to put it out there, I believe when it comes to a live event standpoint and, dedication to the show, I think Scott is about 7 or 8 that I've seen him at, and Robert only 1.
Oh, look at Dan trying to tear the constituency down here. All right, this will go. This is a match to the death here. These guys want to win, not like the other
Scott
stuff
got a vote.
Okay, all right. At Dom Show 1210, that's the first time we've had 10 out of 10 right out of the box, or 100% right out of the box for anybody as the vote grows. This will be a big one. Tomorrow, this will go right down to the last second.
Yeah, vote ends 1:30 tomorrow, 24 hours from now.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, 12:30 tomorrow, 23 hours from now.
Is that daylight savings time?
I don't know.
What's it going to be like outside?
Yeah. Daylight savings time confuses me.
All right. Well, do you want to have?
Yeah.
Look, I got a guy here. Here we're going to get into minutia. Do you want to have more daylight during the winter?
Yeah. Yeah. What, you want more darkness? Like I lived in Indiana when we had the first couple of years. It was prior to us. We were one of the only states that didn't switch to clocks. And when it happened, people were so confused. And at that point, because of people's confusion and their comments about why it's unnecessary, I, too, became part of the camp that daylight savings time is completely unnecessary. And when I came back here, it just confuses the crap out of me. I don't know when I'm springing ahead. Well, you know what?
Yes. Arizona, I think, is the
spring
other
ahead
one.
or fall back, spring back, fall forward?
Fall forward, spring back, right.
No. Spring ahead, fall back.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's right. Fall back.
See, that's my point, though. Who the heck knows?
Spring forward, fall back, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right. 855-839-1210. I have to stop Roe from going on a barnstorming tour on this in favor of it, of, what's being proposed here. I hope Trump rolls this out pretty quickly. But I think the first day is going to be executive order after executive order, and also the deportation stuff is going to happen. All right, I'm coming to you. Get your call in now. A lot out there today. We'll talk with Jeff Andrew at 1:45. Scott Presler at 2 o'clock today. Hey, happy holidays to all. It's a perfect time to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements and their Deck the Hall sale. Right now, you can save up to 78% on exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health. Essentials like omega-3s, probiotics to cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. And the best part, over a dozen health-boosting rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started or stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. Do it today.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Does your broker say, "We're different. We're a fiduciary. We only make money when you make money. A fiduciary duty puts the investing consumer first before the self-serving interests of the licensed professional. So the reality is, no broker is different. They all collect fees, even when you lose money. Does that sound like a fiduciary responsibility to you? Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the nation to record all financial meetings, providing a legally binding guarantee of Crash Proof Retirement's fiduciary responsibility to our investing clients.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. We saw our portfolio grow 15%. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. I've actually never seen a fee in my life with Crash Proof. Never, ever in my life have I ever had that with a broker. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Weather sponsored by Holland Floor Covering.
The dreary conditions continue in the forecast through the rest of today. It'll be cloudy, some drizzle is possible. Milder with a high up around 50 degrees. For tonight, clouds continue. Another round of rain arrives late, low 45. And turning out to be a nice day on Tuesday, becoming partly sunny and mild with a high near 60.
Holland Floor Covering is the region's premier family-owned carpet and flooring dealer. New carpet creates a cozy atmosphere in your home and can add warmth to any room. Showrooms in Wayne and Newtown, free samples and no obligation estimates. HollandFloor.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey
And you
app.
better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. Oh, the times they are a-changing.
All right, welcome in, everyone. Dom Giordano show. So we have 4 killed and a shooter, according to Fox News, at the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin today. And we don't hear yet. The shooter was a student at the school, apparently. We don't hear yet the motivation, if there is a motivation for madness, evil, etc. And I'm not sure if the police took out the shooter or if the shooter killed himself. Another Christian school attack, my mind immediately jumps to the Nashville situation. And you're looking for somebody from the outside coming in, meaning harm because it's a Christian school. In this case, though, at the preliminary news conference, they're saying it is a student, now deceased, from the school. We'll let you know as we see any word from them on anything found, any motivation. My thing on this is almost always, there are warning signs here that are pretty prominent. But for a multitude of reasons, people don't act. You know, we want to respect everyone's rights. I'm looking at the story over the weekend from the New York Times, and I'm on the side of the mom complaining about this, Dan. I don't know if you saw this. They're spying the school on student devices. Schools aim to intercept self-harm before it happens. And they talk about the police knocking on the door very late at night, in the case of this one student, they're using AI-powered software operated by the local school district, have been tracking what she was typing on her school-issued Chromebook. Now, if you're doing it on the school's issued Chromebooks, maybe you have to do it on that. You still, you have the police chief, and okay, we'll go to him in a moment. You still have to be cautious on the amount of context you need before you move on this, like in the middle of the night here, and go to the home. Here's a little bit of the police chief on the investigating of this school shooting.
I say thank you for coming and talk about how important the media is to our community. But the truth is, today is a sad, sad day, not only for Madison, but for our entire country, where yet another police chief is doing a press conference to speak about violence in our community, specifically in one of the places that's most sacred to me as someone who loves education and to someone who has children that are in schools. So I'm going to tell you what I know. I'll answer any questions that I can. There'll be a secondary briefing that our PIO will let you know about, okay? Today, around 10:57 a.m., our officers were responding to a call of an active shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School here in Madison. When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. We train on this almost quarterly. The last time we trained on this as commanders was approximately 2 weeks ago. The protocols are simple. Stop the killing, stop the dying, find out who's doing this. And the officers did that, and they did that adamantly. We had officers from around the county and around the state that came in support of this particular incident. Officers located a juvenile who they believe was responsible for this deceased in the building. Additionally, the officers began administering life-saving.
Okay, I got it. So the shooter, they believe, that was responsible is deceased. He doesn't say that they took him out, that the shooter is deceased, though. Maybe took himself out. All right, we'll see the trail of this now continue. And again, another school shooting, K-12 school. All right, coming up, Jeff Andrew is with us again to break down the latest after the week that he really broke this story loose last week, with multiple people saying they're just airplanes. We'll see what he says. He's next. Hey, Christmas and New Year's are days away, busy as ever. Need help with party and meal planning? No worries. Captain Chucky's. They are a two-pronged attack here. One, for your holiday table, but if you're going somewhere, a lot of stuff that you can bring. Fantastic crab cakes, wild-caught Gulf shrimp, and soups. That's what they're named for. But now they're teaming up with some well-known family-owned businesses to offer other great products. Captain Chucky's and Marciano's Bakery of Philadelphia have now launched their newest invention, the Bang Bang Crab Cake and Cheese Specialty Bread, available exclusively for now at most Captain Chucky's locations. They also have a Taste of Philly section in most stores that carry a lot of family items. You have the Stocks Pound Cakes, the Marciano Specialty Breads, pierogies from the Pierogi Kitchen of Roxborough, Chef Matt's Key Lime Pies, Derby's Philadelphia, Famous Clams Casino, and Vera Pasta Company of Westchester. They produce Captain Chucky's own line of pasta, including 3 different raviolis: the lobster, the banging crab, and finally their shrimp scampi ravioli. They have their own jarred blush sauce. Check out their website and local Captain Chucky's for availabilities. One stop to go. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. You should know that by now. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Visit today. There's a location near you. Don't forget those Dom rolls. You want them on your table. Headed to the shore. They're there too. Visit CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
The secret to savings is out. One place, 2 words.
More money!
Starting at just $3.99, you can find something for everyone in your family and on your list. Make it easy for yourself. Grab gifts that are already in a box. If you're looking for serious savings and style, grab Adidas, Champion, Puma, Reebok, Converse. The list goes on and on. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10.
More money!
You can put a bow on these brands and won't break the bank.
So last year, I had the bright idea to dig up part of my backyard to put in a new patio. Little did I know that underground electrical for most of my neighborhood ran through my backyard. One wrong hit of the shovel and bam, lights went out, my hair turned white, and now I can wirelessly charge my smartphone. You know, they say hindsight is 20/20, but 2/20? That's something completely different. Trust me. Call 811 before you dig. Know what's below and help us hit 50 and 5. 50% less damage to buried utilities in 5 years. For info, visit pa1call.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. Let's go straight away to Congressman Jeff Andrew for an update on Talk Radio 1210. Congressman, welcome back. What's happening today?
More of the same to some degree and some that's new. But as we know, over the weekend and even towards the end of last week, whether it was in New Jersey over the site in Salem where we have our nuclear reactors, there were 2 large drones the size of small SUVs that were sighted, and for that reason, the Salem nuclear plant, the officials there have asked that to be a restricted zone for flight. We know that in Ohio, the sensitive military site drones were seen. We know that the federal government finally is bringing in drone detection systems. Let me be straightforward about this. I mean, either the federal government, and when I say that, I mean the military, the administration, certain individuals in authority, are either covering this up, and I'm really speaking to the administration now, or they're stupid, or both.
Can I vote? I checked the last box. They're both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's very, people say to me, what's the real deal? I'm a member of Congress, and quite frankly, I'm one that gets real involved. I don't know. You know what? Nobody knows. What I do resent are those individuals, some in the mainstream media, people like our Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, who almost make light of it and almost make fun of those who are concerned about it. I happen to be looking at one article, and I think it was in USA Today, and they were saying, oh, is it Martians? Is it the Iranians? Oh, they're really interested in, our farms, and they were trying to make light of it. No, they really are interested. in our waterways. They really are interested in our military sites. I am not saying it is them. But, I mean, there's no question that we should know how to deal with issues like this. This is what we do know. We know that we are 10 years behind where the Chinese are and therefore where the Iranians are, because the Iranians have been dealing with them, have exchanging information and material and buying technology. We know that the Iranians have at least 3 ships that have been converted. And yes, they are called motherships in the drone technology vernacular. That's not something weird. Nobody's trying to say they're outer space creatures, but they are drone ships. And they have stealth ability for these drones to hide them. They have the ability to launch them, and they have the ability to land them. I'm not saying that's it, but what I am saying, knowing all that we know out there, why are we not better prepared for this? Now, part of it is Congress's fault. There's legislation that needs to go through to make sure that we have anti-UAS systems, that make sure we have better UAS detection systems. And for those listening out there, UAS is just an acronym for drone. We like to have acronyms on everything. But the arrogance of some to make light and to almost I don't even know quite how to say it. It's to make light of and dismiss real people who have seen things.
It's elitism again of a sort.
Elitism.
The Kinzinger guy was the most dismissive, alleged Republican over the weekend, saying they're planes. And even Mayorkas and the others, congressmen, have said, yeah, some of them probably are planes. Everybody concedes that. But certainly a number of them are drones. Now, President Trump did a big news conference after presentation today in Florida. When he was asked about this, I think he rightfully said some things I can't say about this, but he definitively is concerned. Have you had a chance to speak with him at all?
I've been sharing the information with him and his staff.
Okay.
He's got a lot going on, so I haven't, and I do directly speak. The last thing I spoke to him about were wind turbines, so there's a lot going on, but I haven't directly spoken to him about this, but he is concerned. And and I think he has said the same thing I have, take some of them down and study them and find out, what they are. I mean, I understand that they cannot tell us everything. I understand they can't share everything with us. They can't give away military secrets. Nobody is asking that, Dom. We're asking to be treated with respect. We have some politicians who poo-pooed it and made it like, it's a joke, and any of the members of Congress who are concerned about it are jackasses just trying to fire everybody up and create a fear. No, that's not what the deal is. There's real issues here. When I hear from PSE&G at the nuclear plant, I'm concerned. When I hear from mayors, when I hear from the Coast Guard, when I hear from others, yes, definitely some of them are small planes. Definitely some of them are just stars. Nobody's saying every single sighting, or even now the majority, there are copycats of sightings are drones. But there are some, and this has been going on for a month. It's a real issue, and we deserve more.
Are they of human origin? Would you say that categorically that's the case?
I'm going to say they are.
Okay.
I'm not a UAP, UFO guy, and I'm not going to say that. But you know what? All of these theories, quite frankly, are out there, and the reason they are is because the government hasn't done its job. What I know, I do know well, and I know we have a responsibility in Congress, and we have a responsibility in the executive branch to share with people what you can share. And that's something that we should
and judgment.
Do. And by the way, just what you were saying, and I saw what President Trump said too, the fact that he was told some things, at least he was honest, and says I cannot share them, indicates to you that there's more to this than just what they're saying.
And look, that's the very good President Trump right there, taking that type of stance, not saying anything, with the media pushing and all that, saying some things you can't, making that judgment. That tells people something. He did comment on it. He has said to shoot it down if possible. but not going to say anything that might or might not be military. That's exactly the stance. And you've done the same thing. What's it been like personally, though? You've talked today about the mockery and all that stuff, and you've been one of the main targets. I think you broke it loose last week by making the suggestion that potential earmarks of these Iranian motherships, that's perfectly possible to get the ball rolling. That's a better explanation than just telling people go away.
It's better than saying nothing to worry about, everything's good. We don't know who they are, what they contain, what they're doing, where they came from, but don't worry, everything's perfect. That's a bad explanation. So I had people come to me that have multiple sources with top security clearance because I'm involved. Obviously, I'm in the aviation subcommittee, and that has everything to do with drones. And we've dealt with people before on these issues, not this issue, but on drone issues and UAS systems. And they said they were concerned. A month ago, a ship left port in Iran that was in port. That is a ship that has Chinese technology on it. They have multiple ships, the ability to launch and receive drones. Nobody at that time, and even now, nobody said where it went, where it was. All we have found out now is that presently 3 of them are not in port at Iran, but they are south of Iran in the sea. So we know that they're there. So I felt I had to respond. I had 2 choices. One was just not to say anything. And the people came to me because they felt that we were paying so little attention to all of it, that this would at least be something that got folks, I won't say folks, that got these administration people, to pay attention and not just dismiss everything and be so disrespectful to both Congress and the American people, and that this would move things along. And damn it, Dom, it did. I mean, it broke it open. It
certainly did. Absolutely.
And I have no regrets. Nothing was irresponsible. I didn't tell people to be scared. But you know what? 99% of Americans didn't even know that Iran and China had drone ships like this and the capability of, sort of like an aircraft carrier, to launch them and receive them. At the very least, people know how serious this is and that they do. And that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Congressman, thank you very much. Merry Christmas if we don't speak before that.
Merry Christmas right back to you, your staff, your family. Have a blessed, happy, and healthy one. And I am hoping we go into a golden age of America next year. Take care.
Gonna happen. Thanks, Congressman. Coming up, the guy who's going to help with that golden age, the great Scott Presler, with more registration and other numbers. He's coming up here on Talk Radio 1210.
This school year, make the most of it for your child or grandchild and make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Give your student all the tools they need for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost hundreds of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com to get your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility in minutes. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I've gone from 237 to 195. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get started right now with your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility for coverage in minutes at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now on Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Talks to Amish, gets them to vote, goes to a gun show. If you Google Scott Presler, it's spelled with one S. He goes where the Dems won't go. Thinks that Scott is a big GOP chump. He worked with Watley and also with L. Trump. A Donald Trump victory to PA he'd bring. We're thankful for that winning Scott Presler thing.
It keeps going down.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, he thought it was going to be trouble. How could I write a Scott Presler Christmas album?
Last year's caller of the year, man.
The former caller of the 2024, he's still reigning, the Earl of Tacony. He hasn't endorsed anyone in this contest,
no, he
but he has endorsed Scott Presler, who's with us on Talk Radio 1210. Scott, very few people have ever arrived to get their own theme music here, but you have.
I tell you, I don't think in my entire life I've ever had a theme song. Is that Henry singing? He's got a great voice.
I wish I sounded that good.
Yeah, no, that's the 2024 caller of the year. You met him down at Mulligan's, the Earl of Tacony. He was one of the entertainers, and he's a big fan. So, Scott, you're on your tour of Jersey. You were at the Sussex Christmas party. We have a friend there, the Assemblywoman, Dawn Fantasia, all-time great name.
Yes.
I talked with you over the weekend and told you the people I'm talking with that really see the potential from you are ready to back and to be moving forward. They are committed big time. What are you finding, like at the Christmas party?
Well, Sussex County is this kind of red, more rural county in New Jersey. And I knew we were expecting a Christmas-themed party, but I wasn't expecting the energy in that room. It was connected to VFW Hall. And so I walk in, and there are patrons sitting at the bar that aren't even there for the Sussex meeting. And immediately, Scott Presler? Like, Scott, the guy that saved, like, Pennsylvania, like, and all the and young vets too, just young guys just having a great time celebrating the victory. And so we at least had 4 or 5 people that we brought over from the VFW just over to the Sussex County meeting, And I want to give a shout out to John, the chairman, and Barbara Holstein. And yes, I met Miss Fantasia, one of the assembly women in New Jersey. And it was a wonderful event. And I think people are really fired up to victory begets victory. And I think we're already seeing that on the ground.
Before we have the grand moment each week, which I told people, and they go, yeah, this guy really has made it a thing. When we were counting down on Bucks County, we're after Center County now, the voter registration in Pennsylvania. Have you had a chance to look the voter registration in New Jersey, Scott? It has to be a huge lead at this point, right?
Well, not a lead. The Democrats, very much like Pennsylvania, have just dominated the seat. And, I think it took Republicans a while to understand the magic of voter registration and how it can really swing states like Florida from blue to red. And so we get monthly results for New Jersey. Every first of the month, you can expect to get data. Sometimes it doesn't appear until the second. But what I can start doing, of course, on the Dom Giordano 1210 talk radio is give you guys those updates not only for PA but New Jersey. And so within the last year, the Democrats went from having 1 million more registered voters in the state to only 902,000. And you say only 902, but look, gentlemen, the fact of the matter is President Trump, despite that huge advantage, came within 5 percentage points of winning New Jersey. And so it shows you that perhaps there's a lot of room to win over those independent voices, those no party affiliated, and perhaps even there are a lot of Democrats that are seeing that their party is leaving those voices behind.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. And look, some of these, as you know, they registered Democrat because their family did. They just let it go. And then they met you and they saw this charge in places like Bucks County. So let's hear, what are the Pennsylvania numbers like?
So it's actually really brilliant. You can tell whenever the Pennsylvania Department of State does a purge, because usually Republicans gain on the Democrats. And ultimately, we had a net loss for the Democrats, but both parties lost due to a purge. Now, why was there a purge? After every election, there are voters who are inactive voters. If people haven't voted for the last 8 years, then oftentimes those inactive voters are removed from the system. So that's why you'll always hear me say things like, hey, check your voter registration status, make sure you're an active voter registered at your current address. Now, I'm putting you on speakerphone for a second so I can read you the post that I put out just this morning. So this is fresh data for Pennsylvania. A week ago, Democrats had an advantage of 283,744 voter registrations. Today, that lead has been narrowed to 272,886, minus 10,000. The Democrats lost 35,000 voters. The Republicans lost 24,000. But here is the coolest part, Dom, that if you remove inactive voters total for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and you do Democrat minus Republican, that number is only 126,000. So to tie a beautiful red bow around this, when you see people like John Fetterman lean to the right or go to the middle, I don't believe it's because he's being ambivalent. I think Senator Fetterman is in preservation mode, and he sees Pennsylvania trending to the right.
Oh, without a doubt. It is going there lock, stock, and barrel, and the Supreme Court races. That's real impact, Scott, will have for year after year after year, not just worrying about the governor's race. Scott, one of the things, too, listeners ask me all the time, each time we have you on, can you remind them what you've said about put down in your book, you're going to vote in November, and you're also going to vote if you're in Wisconsin, and we're going to help with that, the Supreme Court race there. And these states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Supreme Courts are constantly involved in things that get people angry, sometimes elections any number of other issues. So what do we do to help with the Wisconsin race?
Put this into perspective, and for your listeners that are eagerly on every time I come on, number one, thank you. Thank you for supporting Dom. Thank you for always listening to what I have to say. You can expect me pretty much every Monday at 2 p.m. from now in perpetuity, thanks to Dom. And why is the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania important? Well, it's 5 Democrats to 2 Republicans. Democrats are in control, right? And so they set policy, they interpret the law, and ultimately they set precedent. There are 2 reasons why I am against retaining the 3 Democrats that are Doherty, Donahue, and Wecht. I'm not just against them because they're a Democrat. I want to make it clear, Doherty, Donahue, and Wecht are guilty of either A, voting to give Governor Wolf, Democrat, authority to shut down Pennsylvania during COVID, basically saying that his emergency declaration could go on as long as he wanted, or they allowed for undated and misdated ballots in 2020 to be accepted 3 days after Election Day. 3 days. And so for those 2 reasons, I'm asking every Pennsylvania voter on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, to vote no to retention. There's not going to be a Republican opponent. It's either an up or a down. I'm asking you to vote no to all 3. And if you guys do that, number one, we'll make history because judges are usually retained. But number 2, you're going to have special elections in 2027 to replace those 3 justices. And in Wisconsin, you have the opportunity to flip the Wisconsin Supreme Court to Republican on April 1st, 2025. And so we're going to have the option of having campaigns that you can write postcards, make phone calls, and text messages by downloading to your iPhone or to your Android, going to your Google Play or your Apple Store, Early Vote Action. And, of course, my organization is earlyvoteaction.com. And thanks to Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer, I will be speaking on the main stage at America Fest the 19th through the 22nd in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm going to be talking about all of the great work that you guys did across Pennsylvania to deliver the Commonwealth for the president.
That is a huge platform, and they usually draw younger people into this, which is always, Scott, something that you're very good at. In fact, when you talked about Joe Biden and unending wars on college campuses and people on those campuses, that was an issue to break the ice with them.
Well, you know, I've seen such a shift, Dom, in the amount of young people, even going to the Sussex County thing. You would expect in a red rural county to perhaps see people who are more mature of age. Oh, my gosh, I had this cute young thing. Her name is Leanne. Leanne, if you're listening, shout out to you, my friend. And she brought her boyfriend, and she drove just because she heard I was there, and she had to come over and meet me. And she's a young woman who will be graduating from Syracuse in May, and she goes, Scott, I'm going to help you and do everything in our power to deliver the New Jersey governorship. And here her boyfriend is going to graduate soon. I mean, the future really looks bright. And so we cannot rest on the victory of the November election. We must continue to go to fraternity houses and sorority sister houses. We must continue going to farmers markets and gun shops and gun shows and festivals and fairs. And we just must bring our conservative message straight into the 2025 election, straight into the midterms. And I have to say, it's never too early to be thinking about 2028 and winning that presidential election as well.
Well, I happened to see on your Twitter over the weekend, I've never been to Pike County. I've been to a lot of Pennsylvania. I couldn't tell you where Pike County is at this point. You reference it all the time. And I believe the stronghold city there, Blue City, the mayor is resigning or has resigned.
Yes. Well, and, you know, I don't want to take full credit for our work of, listen, so what happens in these small counties is they're already red, but if a county is red, then I want it to go from 70% red to 80% red. And, you know, I want 90% turnout because ultimately that will help offset Philadelphia and Scranton and Erie and Pittsburgh. Now, we did a lot of voter registration at the post office in Milford. Milford is the last remaining blue dot in Pike County. And oh my gosh, the Democrats, they were so mad because they saw me with my flowing long hair registering voters outside of the post office. Oh, they would get so angry. And so the mayor several times tried to intimidate our female staffers, and they tried to stop us from registering voters. And so I think our win, I think the fact that Pike County delivered thousands more votes than it did in the past, the mayor, he is resigning, and this is an opportunity to turn that blue city into a red one, and let's make these red counties and rural areas even stronger in support for the Republican Party.
Amazing, amazing. All the way to Milford from winning Pennsylvania and national acclaim. Scott, what do people do that want to support you financially or volunteer or help in some way?
Well, number one, have a great Merry Christmas with your families and enjoy this time, rejuvenate, and just prepare yourselves for 2025. And you can learn more by going to earlyvoteaction.com. That's earlyvoteaction.com. And you can also message and engage with me on X. It's at Scott Presler, SCOTTPRESLER. And then also, please give Dom a follow. I mean, his X account is growing. I believe it's at Dom Show 1210. And that way you can also see more of what you're doing as well, Dom.
I appreciate that, Scott, very much. Thank you. We'll talk again next Monday.
Beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Scott Presler, Dan, you know what happened when he put me up on his Twitter. Oh, my goodness. Just a mere mention, that picture. All right, so we got a lot of callers wanting to come in. We're going to get to them momentarily. The incremental way that he looks at winning here, that's exactly what Republicans have to do. And those numbers are astounding here in Pennsylvania, down to 272,000 that Democrats are ahead. By the next election cycle, maybe by the Supreme Court, it'll be under 200,000. That's shocking. But right now, Dan has this special. We've been talking about it here behind the scenes. Oh, my God. How do we sign off on this stuff, Henry? You were the deciding vote. You said, yes, Dan, go for this.
Of course. I'm always going to encourage
him to do
something.
I think there are going to be some wrong answers, but we'll give some strong clues. We're playing for a $50 Metro Diner gift card, perfect for your next holiday gathering. Metro Diner is serving up their Heat and Serve holiday feast to go with roasted turkey or baked ham paired with all the fixings that serve a party of 1, 4, or 8. Great spot. Dan, what do you have?
Today we're doing a song sung in a different language. This one from Fiddler on the Roof, Tevier, a great song about being rich, which ties into our side question, but sung in a different language. And Dom, today's language is it's a tough one, and I was curious whether or not we should do it. Evolving from vulgar Latin in the Eastern Pyrenees, Dom. This language comes from a country that no longer exists.
Oh, God.
So, Dom, here is a version of If I Were a Rich Man, but sung in a language that we need to find out. 855-839-1210. Take a listen.
Si jo fos molt rica,
Sounds like Carmen from Camden here in this.
tot el dia turut, tururut. Si fos rica de debò, sí, de pencar ni mica.
Any idea, Dom?
All right. Any more clues?
You know what? No, I'm going to leave it at that for now.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
I'm going to have to answer a lot of phone calls. I have a feeling.
Okay. 855-839-1210. Get in. $50 gift card ready to go. Bang. Metro Diner. Great spot here on Talk Radio 1210. It's a free call. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210 and you get on board.
Passés pel meu carrer a més d'una que sé que es mor de sentiment.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
You've got the whole season planned. Shopping list, the dinner parties, who's picking up who at the airport when someone asks, why is the heat not coming on? First you panic. You fill up a swear jar. Then you remember that Horizon Services commercial about their experts being there the same day for any problems and how they'll install a new HVAC system with no payments and 0% interest until 2025. Oh, you stop panicking and realize your swear jar will cover the Horizon visit. Book today at horizonservices.com.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, the riverwindsrestaurant.com.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, Dan, clarification on the clue, then let's hear the sound.
Yeah, the big clue today, Dom. I said that it's from a country that no longer exists. I want to clarify that it still exists, just in a different form.
All righty, let's hear the clue.
Todo dia tururut, si forricada si da panca nimica.
All right. What is the language, then, is what we're looking for.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Tom in Bucks. Tom, what's the language?
Oh, I got the wrong. I was going for the artist, but I'll have to go with Spanish. I know it's wrong. It's
That's all right. Shall we
Take
say
Spanish off the board, though.
Yeah, it's close.
Close.
Let's go to Jerry in Wilmington. What's the language, Jerry? Jerry. I guess he was going to say Spanish. Let's go to Marvin in Voorhees. Marvin, what's the language?
I'm going to say Portuguese.
Also
Very
close.
close.
Very close.
Very close.
Bill in Montco. What's the language, Bill?
Basque.
No.
That's a good one. That's a Pyrenees, the Basque.
Is that
Oh, we need a check here.
Yeah, I'll put you on hold here for a second, Bill. I don't. It's the language.
No,
is not
they're
Basque.
different. Okay,
There's
they're
no,
different.
I don't think there's. I don't think that's a
close,
language.
but no cigar there, Bill.
All right, let's give another clue here, and then we'll take a couple.
You know
off
what?
the
This was a good one from Twitter. Someone said it's like the Yiddish of Spain, almost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
like,
right.
like a combination of a couple different languages, right?
True, and it has a rhyming.
Let's go straight to Pat in Delco. Pat, do you have it?
I was going to say Yugoslavia.
No. All right, take them off air, Dan. We'll get you a winner here. I've got a lot of people want to get to.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Unless you have another clue that you want to give.
No, I think
Okay.
I've given enough that there
All
should
right.
be enough out there that someone should know it.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's pretty obvious now.
Let's say there's an island off of
There
California
you
that
go.
sounds very similar to the region
That's a
in
good
question.
clue. All right, let me go to Scott in Mount Laurel. He's involved in a big matchup right now for Caller of the Year, the Final Four here. against Robert of Ben Salem. Scott in Mount Laurel. Scott, Robert, a little bit of trash talk in a dignified way today.
Yeah, first of all, I was surprised because he said he didn't really care about winning. Remember, he wanted Joe to win. But beyond that, I appreciate Robert's endorsement. I mean, he said I make great calls. I have a great sense of humor. Dan, can we put together a little soundbite of that and just keep playing it? I think that'll work out pretty good.
Well, he said resting on the laurels, though, too. Resting on the laurels.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think he might have been a little distracted this year working on his Sam Elliott impression.
He's no gazelle. That's true, yes.
I tell you, antelope, actually, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right, yeah.
And keep in mind that if anyone's thinking about voting for Robert, that, a.k.a. Sam Elliott endorsed Kamala Harris and the Lincoln Project. In the past
and wait a minute. And the Lincoln Project. Oh, that's
Do we know for sure that Sam Elliott is not Robert Ben-Salem calling in with his true opinions, though?
That's true. What's the score right now, Dan, so we get a sense of
Yeah, Scott,
race?
you got to do some work, man. It's 76.5% for Robert versus 23.5% for you, Scott. Go recruit some kids at the school or something.
The basketball team, no practice.
Yeah, I tell you, I think we, like I said, we should work on our Twitter shots, right? But what I will say is that this is Scott from Mount Laurel, and I approve this message.
All right, Scott, what's your answer today? What's a sign of signifier of being wealthy?
I think Thomas is right up your alley. Perfectly coiffed hair.
Oh, I got to say that. Yes,
Yeah, but it just takes 15 minutes. It takes time, not money,
Well, it can take to be perfect. You got a stylist. If the person says not their barber, their stylist, that might be a sign. All right, you have a winner here?
We do have a winner. Walter in Lafayette Hill takes the cake. He's going on hold right now if you want to take him. Walter, what's the country of origin or the language that's being sung in, sir?
Well, the country literally is Spain.
Right.
But the language is Catalan.
Congrats.
Because I studied in Barcelona a long time ago.
Wait a minute. What university? Did you ever happen to meet a guy named Joe of Exton there?
No, but I went to Ursinus College, class of 81.
Okay.
So you actually recognized the language when it was played. I think that might be the first time it's happened. Usually people just get the clues, but impressive.
Impressive. Nicely played. Enjoy the Metro Diner. Let's go to the man he was in Florence, not Barcelona. Let's go to Joe of Exton. Hello, Joe.
Oh, yes. Hello, Dom. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
For the side question, my sign of wealth is being a member of the board of directors of a major art museum, the Metropolitan in New York, the Art Museum in Philadelphia, the Art Institute of Chicago, and the Getty in Los Angeles.
Are you on the board of directors? It wouldn't surprise me to hear that, Joe, to be quite honest.
No, not yet.
Not yet. All right, Joe, we'll put you down for that. That was a little bit of overshooting there. I mean, I thought we were clear. We're looking for something more subtle. If you're in the Getty Museum, with the Getty Billionaire Beyond, but
I was saying to him on the phone, too, like any board of directors.
Yeah, any board of directors. Yeah. I mean, that's a sign of wealth. All right, the other Joe will be featured after we have this one matchup decided.
Joe
of Columbus, New Jersey, the G.I. Joe match here. Joe, welcome back, and congratulations on your win over Leslie.
Dom, I'm calling in first and foremost to set the record straight. I only recruited 2 people, my brother and my sister. But I'd like to know what made Dan so surly and suspicious today. Totally out of character, Dan.
No, it was on Twitter. Someone posted they signed up on X specifically to vote for you, and one would easily conclude, if you draw the lines together there, Joe, that you would be promoting yourself offline to have people sign up and vote for you, would it not?
No, I'm going to tell you the other alternative. I have 2 great Twitter campaign managers who are they are working around the clock. Scott Presler would love these 2 guys.
All right, that sounds good. All right, Joe. So, what's your answer to the side today? I think it's a pretty good one.
Dom, it used to be a 3-car garage. Now you look at the people with 4-car garages and maybe another detached 2-car garage. You know they have something.
Yeah, 4-car garage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is a good one.
Out in my neck of the woods. I'm out in the horse farm area. They're out here.
Ooh,
yeah, that is. If they. Oh, I didn't. Here's one. Did they actually say we summer in North Wildwood? I may have said that over the years, just as a tip of the hat. If we haven't gotten into the affected way of talk, affect it. If you have wealth, some people, not Thurston Howell the fourth or third, whichever one it was. All right, we'll get the winner on that coming up. State Senator Bramnick is back with us. He made news over the weekend on these drones. He's got a couple of theories on it, informed theories. He'll hit you with that. Jump in at 855-839-1210. Batteries plus bulbs at Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and Northfield are certified now by Apple as an IRP, which stands for Independent Repair Provider, for official Apple support to perform Apple phone repairs using Apple genuine parts. For example, think about it. I had to do this with Ro recently. The screen on your iPhone cracks. Batteries plus bulbs can repair that easily for you, meaning you don't have to go off to a giant Apple store and all that. It's your guy, our guy, Roy and his team. They're knowledgeable, professional, and now certified in this. So whether you need a battery for an ATV, motorcycle, watch, alarm system, key fobs, if it takes a battery, Roy and his team can help you. Batteries plus bulbs is more than batteries. Do you know that when it comes to lighting your home or business, both indoors and out, Roy and his team will find the proper bulbs so you get the appropriate light, whether it's LED, smart lighting, halogen, incandescent, fluorescent, or miniature. From everyday batteries to the hard-to-find batteries, Batteries plus bulbs is your single-stop battery shop for your power solutions and great customer service. For directions and phone numbers for the Mount Laurel and Northfield locations, go to batteriesplus.com. That's batteriesplusbulbs.com.
Weather sponsored by Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon.
The dreary conditions continue the forecast through the rest of today. It'll be cloudy, some drizzle is possible. Milder with a high up around 50 degrees. For tonight, clouds continue. Another round of rain arrives late, low 45. And turning out to be a nice day on Tuesday, becoming partly sunny and mild with a high near 60.
Weather sponsored by Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon. The secret of finishing your holiday shopping with 3 locations: Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City at the Lowe's Hotel. Visit in person or online at josephanthony.com, where gift cards are available. That's josephanthony.com.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, welcome in, everyone. Dom Giordano's show and this drone story. I don't care what the rest of the media do. They seem to be tiring. They seem to be, diminishing people who tell them this is a real issue. These really are drones. State Senator John Bramnick was with us last week, made a lot of news over the weekend by his view on what's probably involved with this, and he's an informed source. He joins us here on Talk Radio 1210. He's also a candidate for governor. And I wanted to lead with that before we get to the weekend, State Senator. I think this issue is a perfect issue for Republicans. There are 3-4 of you running in the primary. to talk about how you would handle this if you were in Murphy's shoes. It's a real good example of what we want to see in a governor.
Yeah, well, you would demand answers from the federal government, and you wouldn't take no for an answer. And clearly, everyone was slow off the starting gate on this, and I called for an immediate shutdown of the airspace until we figured out what these drones were doing and what their origins were. So I think it has to do with being fair but being tough and defending New Jersey. I mean, here's a situation where the residents are nervous. And this is not Republican or Democrat. You are now seeing leaders in the United States Senate demanding answers from the Defense Department. When you think about President Trump and Schumer saying the same thing, you know this is a bipartisan hurricane.
I would agree. And Schumer over the weekend said the right, and he's usually more cautious. But for he and Trump to agree on this, that's exactly on the money where we are. So what's the latest now in your sources, what you're seeing out there, what's happening with this? You know about this federal detection equipment being sent. What's taking so long to get it?
Well, first of all, that to me is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You're telling me that there's not detection system by the Defense Department here to know what's up in the skies? They got a ship detection system.
That's right.
Like I would think if there's a drone the size of a car that could carry some explosives, that we wouldn't have to ship anything from Washington or anywhere else to know it's in the sky. So that actually makes me more concerned than I was when this all started. We don't know where this stuff is. Donald Trump said today, he said they know where the Defense Department knows how to follow this stuff. So it's here's what happens. When you're not transparent, it becomes, or you're telling something that's not 100% true, you start to look more and more silly. And I think that's what's happening to federal government. And now I don't think they know what to do, because now they've got their own Democrats saying things to the White House. You got to tell us the truth. So I think we're in a situation that I don't think they know what to say, and I guess they can't tell us the truth because it's the biggest secret ever in the history of the world.
Yeah, it seems like they're running out the clock till we get to Christmas or near Christmas or whatever, but what you're experiencing in New Jersey, Governor Christie on board with the same thing you're talking about, and Schumer and Trump yesterday on national TV saying the same thing. So what's the next step for you? What can you do in this situation?
Well, at this point in time, since we've been able to gather leaders on both sides of the aisle, I guess that they're going to have no choice at the federal government but to become clean and tell us what's going on, or they'll shut down whatever they're doing and you won't see any big drones floating around. But this is not going to go on for another 24 or 48 hours because it's reached a point where they're disrespecting elected officials around the country. And the elected officials are not going to take that disrespect. They're going to demand that. And really, what have we heard from the Defense Department? Zero. We've heard from Homeland Security. We've heard from spokesmen, but you haven't heard boo from the Defense Department. Isn't it the Defense Department that should be speaking? Or isn't that the entity that knows what's what up in the sky? And if they don't know what's up, that's one of the reasons I think you're not hearing from the Defense Department, because if you ask them a question, they're going to have to answer it, right? Homeland Security can just say, hey, there's no threat. And that's what, so far, all you've heard is there's no threat, which tells you it's the government stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, continue to speak out. I think you've been right on the money, state senator. And where is your website? Where do people go? Your race for governor.
Sure, just Google Bramnick for governor, and you can see how much fun I am, how funny I am, because, I also do comedy. So it's a good combination to do comedy and also be in the government because you get plenty of material and training.
Of course, we will do that, and it's spelled Bramnick. Thank you, Senator. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Tom. See you now. Take care.
John Bramnick here. He does that then. He does stand up. Well, Phil Murphy does it, talking about his hair and everything else, eating a pizza. It's just a great, great
Hold
comedian.
on. Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones now.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're always talking about your hair.
Oh, that's true, but I mean, I don't have Miss Kim involved.
Well, you
in this.
have.
I'd love to go if I could find Miss Kim and get a haircut and ask a few
what was
questions.
the
while I was
name
in
of the
chair.
guy that used to have it? Used to always go to
Bill. Oh,
Yeah,
Bill the barber.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, you talk about Bill all the time. There you go.
you go.
Glass houses.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So it's 855-839-1210. You get on board. Hit us with a sign, a signifier that this person is probably wealthy, not a billionaire, but just upper class, something of that nature. We've gotten some great ones today. Dan, any update on the thrilling caller of the year race? This is a death battle. What do you have?
Scott's actually making a charge now.
Okay.
I don't know if it was due to his call or what, but he has now acquired 22.5% of the vote to Robert Manselm's 77.5. So still not a tough matchup, but he's making some waves now.
It's a game of runs.
Yeah, that's right.
Got to make a run.
Yeah, you got to be called. Tomorrow we'll have them call in again right near the end, and it's at Dom Show 1210. Tomorrow we'll also then kick off the Joe of Columbus
Battle of the
versus
Joes.
the Joe of Exton match.
I think it might be a good day to whip out the side question of
Joes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all-time Joes.
All-time Joes, Josephs.
Yeah. Josephines.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Check. We're done the side question for tomorrow. We'll whip that
One
one
less
out.
thing off the docket.
I just have yellow
Sure,
legal
it's a post-show
pads of
meeting,
these
right?
backed up side questions.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I have like 50 now.
Get a few more. You never have enough
Yeah, why
side
not?
questions. Over the holidays, you'll see
You acquired
the
side questions like 10-year-old me acquired Pokemon cards.
I love it. What's the all-time side question? My favorite, Henry, is the foreign words in our language, because Dan said that one's not going to go.
Really?
Yeah, I think I think the first time the winner was Menage a Trois, but after that it got better. It was a little.
I still
bit
like the one that we
different.
drunkenly came up with the one time. That was the most infamous American.
That was a real good one.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you
we only
had
did it
that
once
from
though,
the
and probably for
weekend.
good
Yeah,
reason. Yeah.
that was research, Maisie or the crew or whatever.
It was just me and some friends over some.
I think you
drinks
said the
and-
most evil when you started.
Yeah, the most evil. Who's the most evil? Because this was just after
Epstein.
the Jeffrey Epstein suicide.
That
yeah.
was very good. Henry, do you have a favorite side question in the time you've been doing it?
Oh, man. I'd have to go back and look at my notes. For
All right.
sure. I don't have one off
He
the
just
top
has
of
too
my
many
head.
floating in his head right
Yeah,
now.
there
That's
are
right.
a lot.
Yeah, they start. I have people all the time. What was it? It's like the Daily Number or something. Like we're number writers there. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Brian in Philly, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Brian, welcome in.
Hey, Dom.
Yes, Brian, go ahead.
I think those drones are definitely a government thing. If you look up BAE Systems, they're a defense contractor, and their facility is about 5 miles from Picatinny Arsenal, and they have a division called Leidos. It's Leidos.
Okay.
And if you Google Leidos, U.S. Air Force and drones, you'll see that they've got close to $1 billion in drone technology contracts, defending them and against them. All kinds of detection equipment.
Well, I thank you for that. Well, what's your theory why we haven't heard that in the media, Brian? You know what I mean? Something that obvious if they're right there. I have not seen anything on that.
Honestly, because the government doesn't care about informing us. I think
Well,
it's just arrogance.
I meant, see, the media has been deficient in this. They're not
Well,
out
I mean,
there.
just think about it logically. This Iranian mothership stuff, that's ridiculous. If these were spy drones, why would they have lights on them? I mean, that
Right.
seems like an obvious question, right?
I'm not sure. I can't give you the answer.
Well,
Yeah, nobody knows. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing. Yeah.
If
All
you
right,
look up that Chinese balloon they tracked,
Right.
that didn't have navigation lights on it.
it's true.
Okay.
And most of these drone pictures are red and green lights. That's standard navigation light.
All right. Thank you,
Right.
Brian. But would the government at all continue to do this in the face of this? After they initially did whatever they were doing, right, for whatever purpose,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to continue to do this for weeks on end? Why? What would be, you've been seen. What's the theory why the U.S. government would continue to do this?
So
I
do you
don't see
think,
it.
I think it's on like a need-to-know basis kind
Right.
of thing, that the reason nobody can get any answers because it's like really high-up people that are running this operation. Like, I know back in 2013 they like commissioned an FAA drone site
Right.
in North Jersey. Like, do you think it could be something that they're flying out of there, like they're all coming out of this North Jersey
possibly
factory. But it goes back to like what you're saying, like if it's just a FAA factory in North Jersey and they're just testing out their drones, why are they doing it? Why can't they say that? And if maybe if they're not just testing them, they are actually looking for something or someone, like shouldn't we have a right to know that?
Sure, but also the looking and all this consternation for this long, you think you would stand down at a certain point. If you want to be secretive, you got to think you can't just continue to do this.
At least come up with a good lie to get everyone off your scent. Like it's like I'm saying, like if this was really as simple as these drones, where there's just a drone factory up in North Jersey, then just say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say that.
The reason why I question it's a government thing too is why do it in New Jersey when you have so much vast open land in the Southwest?
Well, maybe they wouldn't shoot you down in those other spots. They would, or they'd be called upon. Why can't you shoot them down? The arrogance of this is what gets me, though. That we just had a guy on who's heavily placed in Jersey. They seem to have no power at any level other than the Biden administration. And they're both clueless and won't do anything about it, those of it that might know something about it. It's a shocking bit of arrogance here.
I don't think it's arrogance. I think it goes back to, like, it's a need-to-know basis. I don't think they're telling anybody, even, like, the Phil Murphys of the world. I don't think anyone actually knows what's going on.
I still think that's arrogance.
Arrogance on whose part?
On the people that have the knowledge. I mean, that this is we're still in a democratic republic here. Something this public, you may not have to give the full story, but you got to say something.
Yeah, I can agree with that
That's
much.
my point. Yeah. Okay.
Unless it's like truly catastrophic, what they're searching for or whatever.
Well, to that point, that makes us start to think it's catastrophic.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Would you rather know it's catastrophic or just?
I'd rather know it's catastrophic.
Okay,
I don't believe.
I don't think I'd like to know.
Okay.
I think I'd like to live in ignorant bliss and just keep theorizing these are aliens.
I'm looking at my FanDuel here. Oh, what happened? All right, 855-839-1210. All right, Joe's, I even forgot. Oh, the Joe's match tomorrow. That'll be the side question. Get in here on the lightning round, though, right now. Christmas and New Year's days away, busy as ever. Need help, party, and meal planning? No worries. Let me remind you how much Captain Chucky has to offer for your holiday table. So whether you're hosting or you're going to gatherings, remember you can stock up on everything at Captain Chucky's. They're known for their fantastic crab cakes, wild-caught Gulf shrimp soups, and, of course, the Dom Roll. Well, now Captain Chucky's is teaming up with some well-known family-owned businesses to offer some other great products. Captain Chucky's and Marciano's Bakery of Philadelphia have launched their newest invention, the Bang Bang Crab Cake and Cheese Specialty Bread. Available exclusively for now at most Captain Chucky's locations. Captain Chucky's also has a Taste of Philly section in most stores. They carry these great items. Who doesn't love Stock's Pound Cakes? Marciano's Specialty Breads, pierogies from the Pierogi Kitchen of Roxborough, Chef Matt's Key Lime Pies, Derby's Philly Famous Clams Casino, and the Vera Pasta Company of Westchester. They produce Captain Chucky's own line of pastas, including their 3 different raviolis, their own lobster, bangin' crab, and finally, their shrimp scampi ravioli and their own jarred blush sauce. Check out their website for availability, get the Dom Rolls, and get to that website, WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore. Don't forget Captain Chucky's at theshore.com.
If you depend on Social Security, your retirement lifestyle may be at risk.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. I have my doubts about where we're going as a country. Much of our Social Security fund may dry up, which is not good for the citizens who paid into that system. Take your money and put it into a crash-proof retirement system. With the crash-proof retirement system, I can supplement or even replace Social Security and not deplete my nest egg. It's guaranteed. This year, I have earned over 14%. We do not have to pay any fees, and you cannot lose it. I have absolute peace of mind because I am protected by crash-proof retirement.
You don't have to wait until our next event to start your crash-proof retirement educational process. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Cherry Hill, Saturday, February 8th with Dennis Horan and Vince Valentine. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Santa, he's not checking his list. He's checking out the insane deals at the Bush Auto Group. Forget Black Friday, forget Christmas shopping. These deals are so big, they'll have your wallet saying, ho, ho, holy. We're talking huge dollar amounts off select Nissans. Infinity's so affordable, Santa's ditching the sleigh for adaptive cruise control. And our pre-owned deals, they're so outrageous you'll feel like you're stealing. But don't worry, it's all perfectly legal. You're still on the nice list. Visit us online at bushautogroup.com. And remember, Philly rides with us.
When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes to storage solutions. And we get the job done fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without the hassle. So trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. And let's cook up something extraordinary.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
See 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil at the Met Philadelphia, presented by Highmark, December 19th through the 29th. See Dylan Marlowe at the TLA, January 24th. Rod Stewart at TD Pavilion at the Man, July 12th. And check out Sticks with Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, August 8th. For tickets and info, go to livenation.com.
The secret to savings is out. One place, two words. More money! Starting at just $3.99, you can find something for everyone in your family and on your list. Make it easy for yourself. Grab gifts that are already in a box. If you're looking for serious savings and style, grab Adidas, Champion, Puma, Reebok, Converse. The list goes on and on. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10. More money! You can put a bow on these brands and won't break the bank.
It's the 12 days of savings at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. From December 12th through 24th, every day brings amazing deals. On the first day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me up to $5,000 off a Hot Spring Grandee. On the second day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me new auto ship for all water care with no shipping fee. On the third day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me savings up to $2,500 on our sauna floor model clear-out sale. The 12 days of savings only at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Visit springdancehotTubs.com for more deals.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Abrams, head of research audiology at Jabra Enhance. Did you know there's a connection between untreated hearing loss and chronic conditions like cognitive decline and dementia? The good news is hearing aids can actually reduce these risks and help you stay connected. Today, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite hearing aids, the game-changing Jabra Enhance Select 500. Jabra Enhance offers an affordable solution for most common hearing problems with our best-ever speech-enhancing capabilities for a mighty sound in a micro-sized package. Plus, with Jabra Enhance's premium package, you get 3 years of continuous remote care provided by licensed hearing healthcare professionals. No waiting rooms or long commutes. It's as easy as video chatting with a friend. Because at Jabra Enhance, our job is to help you hear and be heard.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
And that's right. Dom's Lightning Round is brought to you every day by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. See store for details. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. All right, this coming off Show Your Pearls Day, something that signifies, maybe in a subtle way, a person who is wealthy, upper middle class, a little bit at least. Let's go to Frank in South Philly. Frank, good afternoon. What's yours today?
Hey, Dom, good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call. Dan, how are we doing today, Dan?
Going pretty good, Frank.
Good. Listen,
Don't have my gabagool yet, though.
Are you on duty this Friday?
I am. I'm on duty.
Well, you may get a paid visit. You might get a visit this Friday.
Well, it's not a paid visit. I'm not going to pay anything.
All right. Let's give the gabagool stakes here. Settle this off air. What do you have,
I would really
Frank?
appreciate
What do you
it,
have?
though,
Chop,
Frank.
chop here.
Hey, Dom.
Yes.
Most people that have antique cars, that shows a sign of wealth.
I think that's a pretty good one. I think that is a pretty good one. Thank you, Frank. Dan, I think that's a pretty good one to end. Henry, give us a couple you liked.
Yeah, so let me pull these up real quick. Some of the ones I like today. I like Peg in South Jersey's answer of the nanny. I feel like if you can afford a nanny, you're going away on business trips, both of you can't be around for the kids. Yeah, you probably pretty well off.
Without a doubt, Dan.
I might go with that myself.
The nanny?
Yeah.
I was looking for something a little more subtle. Isn't a nanny glaring? I mean, that's definite. If you have a nanny, that's definite.
You like the perfectly styled hair?
Like the wife and the maid not being the same person. Perfectly styled hair from Scout
If you guys like the nanny, I just don't
four-car
think
garage,
it's quite
I could go with that, too.
I like the 4-car garage, but do you think the nanny is subtle enough? Yeah?
I think in today's world where you have so many people working 2 jobs, it's kind of on the fence where like a nanny can be considered it, but...
I'd be swayed for 4-car now that I'm reading it again.
Yeah. Dom, where are you going? It's your name. It's your show.
I think the 4-car.
Okay.
I think the nanny's like a glaring, even with people working.
Is that an endorsement? Because that was Joe of Columbus's answer.
No, let's not get on the wrong side. He'll have a tough match tomorrow. We don't want to get into
just real quick, I see he's on the board among many callers right now. Earl Taccone, we're going to be releasing that Christmas album tomorrow, I think, Dom. So we'll have more information on that as well.
Scott Presler loved it.
Earl.
Let's get that to him so you can put it up on Twitter, Dan, the Presler thing. That
was awesome.
Big seller here. All right, Earl, thanks for all that. We'll release it tomorrow. We'll continue. We got some great guests lined up, too. And hopefully there will not be drones over Jersey, Pennsylvania tonight. Bet on Josh Shapiro, though, to be the one that sees advantage to go after it. All right, Richie always next for 4 big hours to take you home. All that on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Nick Cale here for my friends at Omaha Steaks. Gifting during the holidays is a warm experience to make someone else's life more enjoyable. Forget gift cards, electronics, or clothing. Get them a memorable experience like the gourmet foods from Omaha Steaks. How about a curated gift package that they will savor with so much flavor? Perhaps filet mignon, courtesy of Omaha Steaks. And now you can get the perfect gift with 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, my listeners get an extra $30 off your purchase by using the promo code Nick at checkout. We had the filet mignon, the burgers, and the chicken breasts, and it was the freshest meal I've ever had delivered to my doorstep. The girls loved the chicken. My wife said the burgers melted in her mouth, and I absolutely love the filet. 5 generations of family excellence dating back to 1917. Wow your friends and family with a gift that is way different than the ordinary. OmahaSteaks.com, 50% off site-wide. Use the promo code Nick for an extra $30 off at checkout. Do it today. OmahaSteaks.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax